Welcome to the show, and here are your hosts, the diabolical Elite Gaming Guru, the illustrious Red Dead Panda, and the Australian stud AshtreyGaming. So let's get this party started. Shit.
Oh, you missed it. We're live now, Ashtray. You're going to have to say that again.
No.
Never. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Are we live?
Happy
Yeah.
100.
We're alarm red, so that's when we're live, because we never know when we're live. Right, thank you everybody for joining us for a special episode. It's our 100th episode. Everybody, 100th.
Hard time, man. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He wasn't
we've got
expecting us
a
to get
ton
there,
of-
that's why.
Would have been
Well, he wasn't meant to
Been
make it.
mocked and
Ashtray and I
laughed.
were definitely getting to 100.
Oh,
He's
poor
like a
Elite,
skin
man. Jeez.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
A week off and we go crazy when we're back.
Yeah, we have a stacked panel today too.
Yeah.
we do. That's yeah. Thank you all for joining us once again. Please share and throw this out to everyone you can. We've got a stacked panel. I'm just going to run through who we've got on the panel today. We've got Red Dead Panda. We've got AshtreyGaming. We've got.
I love it.
Well, who did I miss? Oh. Okay. We've got Infinite Umbra. We've got Jedi Knight Peter. It's American for Peter.
Peter.
we got Mr. Channy. I love this man.
The
He's
geek.
great. The geek himself, the geek man. Are you a permanent member of RDX now? You are, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's fantastic news. Great to hear. To hear it on it, I wasn't sure. I've never heard the confirmation on it, but it's great. And we've got Mr. Bushido, and I think we've got other guests coming in possibly. So you have to stay tuned for incoming. But so how's everyone been? It's going to take a while now if we go through everyone's sort of what you've been doing. Should we do it
Hey,
anyway?
it's our 100th episode. It's a special episode. Let's go around and see how everyone is.
Let's go around the block then. What has everyone been playing?
Everybody all talk at once.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
well,
he hasn't given any direction, so just go for it.
I'm going to start with Jedi Knight Peter.
Well, I rolled credits on Jedi Survivor 2 days
Nice.
ago, and I love that game. It's my
Nice.
equal game of the generation with Elden Ring. I mean, my name's Jedi Knight Peter. I love that game. It was just brilliant. And I actually bought Gotham Knights yesterday. It was on special for $36. I'll tell you if it's worth it. I've been told two differing opinions, but haven't gotten much into that
Yeah, I
yet.
can tell
And
you
I
right
got
now,
my Mace Windu skin on Fortnite. Yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
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 Nice. Huggy, man, what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Mr. Hoggy.
The game of the year, that would be Zelda. I've been playing that on PC emulated. But...
Yes, that's the only way I'm going to be
Yeah.
playing it, Huggy.
Cheetah.
Yep. Peter.
30 can go
I own the
suck a
game.
dick. Sorry, guys.
Big fat one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the performance. I just and plus I could get it up to 1440 or 4K, right? So pretty good so far.
Ask a question. Is it, Mr. Hoggy? Is it worth the 97? Has it got 97 Metacritic?
It's I think a 97 Open Critic, but yeah, of course it is. But
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, some people will dismiss it because it doesn't do what the other consoles do, but that's not their problem, right? They just make games that are fun to play.
Yeah,
so-
that's. But yeah, I don't care about resolution or frame rates and stuff like that. I was just wondering about the sort of the actual gameplay itself and all the other mechanics in it and what's involved in it. Is it worth the 97?
Show. Finito.
Hey, I live and breathe Nintendo, so like that.
Right.
I am like a
That's
massive
adorable.
Zelda fan. I like have so many things in my house that are just Zelda related. I have like 4 different types of like master swords. I have a
Awesome.
massive Hylian shield made out of metal. Yeah, I have so many Zelda things. Like it was my bread and butter. So I understand the love for Zelda, definitely. And if you love a game like that or a franchise like that, then it's worth whatever you think it's worth to you. Yes, I know that there are issues with that game, but, you know, don't let that overshadow your own enjoyment of a game. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there are issues with the game. I think the game is the way it's supposed to be. Issues with the game.
Issues
There are
with the game is
with
my
the
30
game.
FPS. It should never have been like. I mean, the first one was 30 FPS, which makes sense. So you knew that this
Yeah.
one was going to be. But yeah, glad you're enjoying it, Huggy.
Yeah, it's fun. Just got Colt up and running. We'll see if he likes it.
Wasn't he? Is he like an hour in or something like that?
Yeah,
He
so he's-
just started it, so yeah.
I see he's been playing a lot of Grounded still though, so he loves that game.
Yeah, Grounded released some new content, and so they've been kind of going through that part of it.
I love that.
I'm
game.
probably gonna go back and do that too. That was a great game too. So
Yeah, I mean, we need to
yeah.
get back into that, Red. We really
Yeah,
enjoyed
we
it.
do.
We had problems, didn't we?
The problem was you, Elite,
Elite,
but no one told you. Sorry.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Awkward moment. Oh, this is
damn.
live, right? Oh, crap. No, we did have issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Connection issues.
Anyway, you
Yeah.
just ruin the mood then.
And Red,
Infinite.
check the chat. What's up, my man?
Go on, what you been playing? What you been up to? What you wearing?
I've been up to a few good things, and I've played the actual and beat the actual game of the year, which is Jedi Survivor.
Wow.
Hate to rain on your parade, Hargeet, but yeah, Jedi Survivor is the ish. I think Peter would co-sign that for me.
yeah, you can
I
co-sign that all you want. At the end of the
I'm
year,
just saying,
Zelda's going to be
hey.
Game of the Year.
I mean, they'll cheat for it. We
Play
we
whatever
can
game you
acknowledge
want to,
that.
dude.
We can acknowledge they'll cheat for it and give it the win because it's a lot of Nintendo fanboys. But in reality, it's Jedi Survivor. It's just.
Which, by the way, every time I
the
see it,
bee's
I'm like,
knees.
wow, this is just a ripoff of Zelda. I mean, it just really is a ripoff of Zelda. Like, honestly, I'm not being facetious here. I really do. Like, everything you're doing in there is a ripoff of Breath of the Wild. I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't remember doing Jedi power force my moves with Link.
Dude,
I don't
you
know.
have all those powers in freaking Zelda.
He does that?
You do actually do all that stuff.
Oh,
exactly.
Okay.
It's
He
just
stole
not.
it from
It's just
Star
not.
Wars.
The idea is
You
cool.
can
You have
move
to use
shit
a
around
tablet.
with your hands. It's just crazy.
You have to use a tablet.
Yeah.
It's not as cool as it would be if you didn't have to use a tablet. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but no, seriously, it's a great game. Is it just me or is there a slight echo?
That's probably just a late.
Not hearing one.
Oh, okay.
I heard something come through before, but like I've turned off all my stuff, so it's someone else's in the background that's coming through.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, but I think Peter forgot to acknowledge when he played as Mace Windu that he was like cursing as Samuel L. Jackson would when he was running around with him. He forgot to acknowledge that part. So I just wanted to point
Sorry,
that
everyone.
out.
Sorry, everyone. It's going to be like a Royal Rumble this week. We've got another guest that's joined the panel.
Retry, yeah.
Hello, guest. Mystery guest.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up,
This is
Retro?
I, Retry. What's going on? How you doing, Umbra? Thanks
What's up,
thanks for the invite, Umbra. I don't know. I don't think I've met everybody on this, but well, I know some of you, but thanks for having me and congrats on the 100 episodes, guys. That's awesome.
I
Cheers, thank you.
know, Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll keep it going.
Absolutely. I forgot to actually say that.
Absolutely.
Congrats on 100. I forgot to actually say that out loud.
Yeah, and as the 100 episodes, we're gonna have 100 guests today. No, I'm kidding.
All right, I'll see you later. And I'm out of here.
Have we got enough space for all the little faces down the side?
I adjusted the sizes of them, so we do have like space for two more.
Yeah.
I think.
I
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah.
Probably maybe one more. Probably not two more.
Oh, if I think I
Then
can
we're
lift
all
it
gonna be
slightly
very tiny.
higher, to make it two more. Yeah.
Oh wow, our favorite friend is in the chat.
Yeah.
Welcome. Well,
I mean, he was on one of those episodes, so I think that is the trashiest episode of all. Who shall not be named. So you can just keep your thoughts to yourself,
The irony
please.
is he has 100 accounts.
Oh, his thing disappeared.
Anyway, let's get back to figuring out what everyone has been playing. And before we do, I just want to shout out to the whole chat and to our community and to everyone who's joining us to celebrate 100 episodes. It's been awesome playing some games with you guys for community game night and just talking gaming. I think that's one of the biggest things that we all love to do, and it's just nice that there are people that share that same interest and hobby in a way that is constructive and we don't basically try and murder each other. Yeah, it's great. Love it.
Some do, but yeah.
Well, that's because of you, Elite. You're an antagonist.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah,
who are we
they're
up
onto me.
to? We've heard from Pete. We've heard from Umbra. Prosciutto.
You can skip Bushido's. Skip Bushido and go to Retri. How about that?
Yeah, well,
I just want to start with fire here. So game of the year we're all going to agree is
Zelda.
Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor.
Both wrong.
You can
Both
agree
wrong.
to whatever
It's
you
That's
want.
Goat
fine.
in the end.
Simulator 3, guys. You're all wrong. It's Goat Sim 3. I said it in someone else's show. It's Goat
Oh
Sim 3.
wow, yeah, there's Goat Sim, right? Yeah.
How
What
can
is
you
it?
overlook that game?
I mean, just all you hear is them going, man. Nobody want to hear that.
That is classic, honestly.
Retri, what would you say is the game of the year for you then? Because I heard you denied Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, well, all right. I'm not done with Jedi Survivor. I know I'm way behind on that game, but it's probably the Abracadabra game. Like, obviously, it's Harry Potter. Like,
Are you talking
I don't know.
game?
Oh,
Yeah, the kids. Yeah, the one that.
Yeah.
First of all, you ain't even played it. We verified that the other day. So you talking trash on a game you haven't touched.
That's
But,
cool.
yeah.
Played it, never
Well,
enjoyed
it.
information.
It's all about the
Information is
Hogwarts
private.
over here.
I'm so glad you checked him on that.
I'm sorry.
so
I'm sorry,
grateful.
Bushido. I just called you out.
Private.
No, don't apologize. You were right to call him out on this. He had been harassing
yeah,
me,
I
talking
mean-
about it's a child's game for a while now. You know, so you
I'm
you
sure
deserve this.
Jedi is great. I'm only on the second planet, so I can't
Yeah,
talk too
great,
much
great.
trash about it. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Abracadabra game, and this one right here, Ravenlock's really good. There's your Zelda game right there if you want to play a Zelda game. So
No, that's nowhere near.
no shade on Zelda.
If you're
I
saying
haven't,
it's
I
close
haven't
to
played
it,
Zelda. I'm just talking shit because the
I was
last
gonna
game
say,
bored the
Anyway,
hell out
it
of
ain't
me.
that good, bro. Yeah.
I was going to say you shading Zelda right now if you said it's like this.
Yep. You're damn right.
I did enjoy Ravenlock though, just to say, but it's nowhere near. But yeah.
Did
No,
you get to play
seriously,
last
Retri.
year's
By the-
game of the year, or did you not like that one either?
Which one? Sorry, what'd you say?
Last year's was Elden Ring. Did you play that game, or do you?
Oh
hate it?
no! Elden Ring, 100%. I love that game through and through.
Okay, so
Absolutely
since Elden
loved
Ring
Elden
is
Ring.
literally a ripoff of Breath of the Wild, you're saying that you were bored of Breath of the Wild.
Ouch. No. I ain't walking into that BS trap. No. Nah,
You
the
actually
first
did, though.
the last Zelda I did walk right into that. I don't know. It's just not for me, man. It was just too open and boring. It's sticks and stones. I don't know.
I want to point out
it's just
that
not for
Elden Ring could at least get 60 on PS5 and 50 on on the Xbox. Just want to point that out. Zelda can't even hit 30. That's barely. You know what I'm
On
saying?
an Xbox? Yeah,
On a
it can.
On its own console.
On a Switch, you can't. No.
Oh, did Elden
But-
Ring get 60 on a Switch? I don't even think
On-
it came out on Switch, but hey,
I
whatever.
don't think it.
I
yeah,
mean,
don't think that
KSande's
hardware's
playing it
capable.
like 60, 80 frames
But,
right now on PC
I'm
through his
playing, I'm
emulation.
playing it
so.
like 90 frames right now. So
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
all are cheating. We're talking about how.
Yeah, you're
actual hardware.
cheating.
Yeah, you're cheating. That's just real.
Cutting corners.
Yeah.
Always
If you play it on the
reasonable.
Switch, you'd be like, get this ungodly
I
game
played it
away
on
me
Switch.
frames.
I actually didn't mind the frame rate. Oddly enough, it was okay. But
until you switch to your PC. Then you're like, I'm never
No,
going
no,
back.
no. I played it on PC first. Then I played it on
Oh,
Switch.
See, you entertained it. You're like, okay, I'll try it on the Switch. And you're like, okay, yeah, I made
Yeah,
the right
it was
decision
okay.
with
It's
PC.
fine.
Just saying. You know.
Silent Cypher,
don't-
thank you for joining us. We'll just
What's
jump
up,
in
brother?
very quickly. What
Best voice in the business.
what have you been up to?
Speak to me
How are
silent.
you? Thank you for joining us for episode 100.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hello. Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to get to hang out with you guys.
Thanks for joining
Did
us.
you ask what I've been playing? Sorry,
Yeah.
I just got my headset on.
Yes.
That is okay. Yeah, what have you been up to?
Yeah. So I've been playing some of Resident Evil 4. Been jumping into that. I didn't end up
Nice.
jumping into it when it first released, and so I'm running a playthrough on that right now. Really enjoying that game. I wish I would have played it back in the day, but besides that, played a little bit of Zelda earlier this week. It seems like a really good game. I just frustrated that it's constrained by hardware. But that's about all I've gotten up to recently. Work's been a little busy, but happy to get back into some holidays here soon, so I can get some more gaming in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you
And
can-
I can Congrats
Resident
on
Evil 4
congrats
is
on
an
100.
amazing game, bro.
So I just want to point out that Silent Cypher often tries to join and come in like smooth and stuff, like he's Solid Snake or somebody. I don't know. I just wanted to, yeah, because me and him had a few. Yeah, me and him had a few challenges. A little voice off. He come in, in the world voice. I gotta. I'm just saying.
I'm that singer though.
Hello.
Oh,
Infinite.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with silent on the voice, maybe Umbra on the pipes for singing for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
I think so. Yeah,
I'm just gonna say I think I got both. But hey,
Well, I mean, you would say that, wouldn't you?
Ashtray,
Awesome.
what have you been playing? What have you been up to? We'll just get these done and then get into it, guys.
Yeah, good idea.
It'll be a good show.
Yeah, I've been playing a bunch of different games. Jedi Survivor, finished that as well. Not too keen on the storyline, but the rest of it was pretty good. Ravenlock finished that, 100% of that. And then just jumping in and out a few other games, playing that Superland right now. So, yeah, just, me, I always jump in and out of different games all the time. But when it's open world like Jedi Survivor, I usually play that sort of to the end. I still need to clean up some stuff, but I'm going to put it down for a little bit, play something else. And then, go from there. So that's about it for me. Let's jump into our first topic.
Let's do this then.
Let's
Is
do
everyone
it.
ready?
You can do it.
Let's all high five like Power Ranger style. Yay! First topic.
Everybody jump. Let's get freezing in the air.
Yeah, pose in the air. These happy days are yours and my happy days.
So this is the last episode we're ever having on again. Thank you.
Start singing, you're gonna get me singing up in here.
It's like an Xbox party right now. This is exactly how it feels.
It is like an Xbox party. We can do this. Right, so PS5 exec doesn't want to see gaming's future dominated by live service games. They're boring.
That's too late.
So PlayStation boss Shuei Yoshido wants the gaming industry to continue to chase its creative dreams. What he means is Sony can't keep up and don't want to do that, basically. But I'm confused because didn't they come out and said they're working on
12
live service games?
And I mean, how many of those are going to
Aren't
actually
they also
survive,
canceling a bunch? Or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's 2 have been cancelled so far. One of them's been
It's a good start.
in development for about 6 years. Last
Shuei came out and was like, "Oh, wait a minute, we're doing all those too? Oh, we got to scrap some of these. That's a bad look."
Yeah. This. Yeah.
So
So what's your takes?
Go around with this.
Yeah, we'll go around. I'm gonna start it. Infinite Umbra. Let's go with Infinite. He's muted. Let's go with Jedi Peter. Jed, let's go with you first. What's your opinion on this? Give it now.
Bro, I was typing. I've completely. I didn't expect to go first. There's literally 20 people here, bro.
Yeah, man, just pick someone else. Yeah.
Bro.
Keep talking, Jedi.
Who wants to start?
Could you rephrase the question?
Why don't we just get Red's point of
Take
view
and
out
we'll
of
be
the way?
done. Yeah.
And then let's give Red's opinion and go.
What did he say?
I mean, seriously, throwing your whole video game prowess into 12 live service games, already canceling 2, shutting down a studio, throwing everything into VR. It's not really
Cancelling
good to
another
put all your
project.
eggs in one basket type of thing. So it's writing on the wall. Like I said before, you're going to have all these games. How many are actually going to take off? I mean, they're competing against established games like Fortnite, for example, or the FIFAs and the Maddens. These sell multi-millions of copies across everything, not just one platform. And it's a market that's pretty hard to be in and go against established franchises. So I don't know what their plans on actually what they're going to do. Is it going to be sports games? Is it going to be shooters? Is it going to be battle royales? Probably a mix of both, but I mean, again, like the licenses for all the sports games are already taken, so I don't know what they're really going to do there. They're going to have a rip-off of FIFA, call it something else, football or something. I
Soccer.
don't know. Like, it's just there's
Well,
not
technically, FIFA walked away from EA, right? So they could do that. And they
True.
already
Right.
have MLB.
How many need to be successful for it to be a successful venture? Bungie, I think they've got a leg up because they've got Bungie. I think whatever Bungie touches will do well. But yeah, the market is
Lightfall?
flooded.
But they've also people have left Bungie or been sacked from Bungie too. So
I think
it's a worry.
I think he's 100% right though. Like, if we're all just going to fill the industry with Gaz games, people are going to get fatigued from that. And then you're just not seeing innovation, and it's just looking at ways that they're trying to make money hand over fist and bleed us dry as gamers. And we would like sometimes to have those experiences of single player games where you don't have to have 1,000 microtransactions popped into it. That the game you buy is the game you finish playing, and you can put it down and then go look at another game, and just to make them live service like that and consistently changing. Some games definitely, I reckon, improve as a result of that style, but other games definitely are let down by it. And if they aren't willing to put the time and money and effort into it and really support the game, then you're kind of taking the risk as a consumer of investing with the chance of it being pulled right out from underneath you. So the other side of it,
Vampire Masquerade.
yeah. The other side of it is like,
Which is another one that shut down, right?
yeah. Like, the industry does definitely need to continue chasing creative dreams. I think that's a very great statement there, because you've got the indie devs coming in and they're creating some amazing games. I have had some of the best experiences just by playing indie games over like AAA games at the moment. Like
Agreed,
like Tinykin,
I agree.
Ravenlock,
I was
Tunic,
just gonna
all these
step
other
in.
games that come out.
Oh, Tinykin.
I love
Thank you.
Tinykin.
No one
Oh,
no one
Tinykin.
ever talks about that game. It's so damn
Yeah.
good.
So damn
Fantastic
good.
game.
It is.
But then that's why
Well, it's
those kind of games need the media support, need the media backing, rather than downplaying games like Pentiment and your Scorn and games like that, downplaying them and putting them on a lower pedestal. And all these new innovative games need to be brought up.
A lot-
So the guests.
A lot of the big games that we
just-
have today
Right.
are basically, they started out very much in indie world. Some of those games,
Yeah.
or some of those, at least gameplay mechanics and such, all started out in those smaller titles and then got picked up because they were so popular and have now been, I don't know, it's just kind of, I feel like warped to a point where I'm just like, I'm just not interested in all these games as a service games. I want to play a game, I want to put it aside, because then I look at the games which consistently update, unless it's like a little bit of DLC, they add more achievements. I'm like, I kind of don't want to go back in and just try and 100% that game again because now they've added achievements on. I was happy that I 100%ed it the last time. So, yeah. Thoughts, guys?
PlayStation's bread and butter have always been single-player games. Do you think their player base will actually embrace these live service games? Maybe
Of course
like
they
the
will.
Last, maybe the
Yes,
Last of
they
Us, because it's the Last of Us and it has that name recognition.
Well, they can't support COD anymore, so you know.
Oh, burn!
Ouch.
I mean, look, they need to go in this direction, right? They like it's there's just too much money on the line. They're gonna do it, and
Yeah.
if one of them or two of them does work, and we can't just say that they don't work. Apex came out of nowhere
Yeah.
and took off, right? So these things do happen. It just has to be good, right? It has to be something with a very simple loop. A lot of these are good if they can work, for 10, 15, 20-minute chunks.
Like,
And then they have to have constant draw to bring you back, right?
Destiny
There's got to be something there
2
to
as a
bring you
live
back.
service game is now, if you aren't in there playing it frequently, it's now too complicated for people who've never touched that game.
Yeah,
to
I don't
get
like
in.
that one, and that's
And
kind of the problem.
That
with
is
that
the
one,
problem, right? Yeah. It is completely unplayable as a result, because I put it down. I now I can't even go back into it because I'm like so lost. Like, the simplistic nature of the games as a service is making sure that people can put it down and come back to it, and you don't want to cut off part of your player base. And I think they're just making things overly complicated for no reason.
But we don't know what the PlayStation games are going to be, right? But they will. A lot of these will fail. We should just expect that,
Yeah.
right? If it's 12 of them, you should expect 8 of them to just fail. But if they can stick 2, 3, 4 of them, that's money. That's just constant revenue. It's a good, it's an investment. But it will potentially pan out. So it's worth doing. Look, in any given business, you have to take risks to try to get something. So I don't begrudge them that. But on the flip side, I hope what happens with that is they have enough money to make the quirky games they used to make, because they've shut those down, right? They don't make any of the indie type games. They used to make them, but now it's all the big AAAs. And I think the quirky games can be fun. They can just be off the wall weird things. And you're like, well, this is kind of interesting, right? Some of them fail like Knack, but
no more concrete.
Some of them can be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a good point you make there. They've gone away from that largely, and I don't think they're going back, Hargeet. You see them talk about what they talk about, and it seems like they're only interested in kind of the high value AAA games, it seems.
Yep. That's why, like, remember we were talking not too long ago, Umbra, that Media Molecule could be in trouble. They could be the next to possibly go down. That's one of their last weird studios left. And Dreams just didn't hit. They, Little Big Planet, that was a long time ago. So I would not be surprised if that shuts down. I know Danny had brought that up, and I thought that was a really good point. So I would expect if if they're just going to go AAA. I mean, then I think Media Molecule might be in trouble. Hopefully, they'll just get absorbed into the other studios. But I think what PlayStation is doing is the right move. I don't know if they need to be doing 10 or a dozen of these at the same time to just. I mean, I guess it's just a numbers game, like in Vegas, just to see what hits. But a lot of people are thinking, maybe this will be Killzone. Can Killzone come back and take the crown again for PlayStation? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe Last of Us Factions.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
I tend to.
It has to be a good Killzone though. Like people keep bringing up Killzone.
Exactly.
Resistance. Like it's not an exact science. Like you take this, you take a little paprika and a little pepper, and you stir it around for 30 minutes, and it's good. It's not. So just bringing back Killzone doesn't mean that it's gonna hit. And for I think you're right, Retro, because it has to be one of those Vegas type things where I'm gonna flood and see which one hits, and whichever one hits, that's the one we'll stick with, or ones, and hopefully we'll get more than one. My deal is this: I don't mind free to play games as long as you do a good job with the game and not make it so egregious when it comes to taking away from us.
Yeah,
because we don't mind doing it for Fortnite.
That's still an expensive exercise.
I was just going to say, I would have thought Fortnite would be where it is now. I mean, that if you pitched that game to me, I don't know if I would have thought it would have been good.
Yeah.
But they capitalized on that at the right time, too.
I mean, because the game was dead when it first came out, right?
I would have thought that.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Completely dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember the game was from Save the World at first, and that did not hit at all. Yeah. But then they parried. Yeah, they pivoted, and next thing you know, they got the right one. So, you have to.
I think Sea of Thieves shows that it doesn't just need to be shooters as well, and I think they need to think outside the box a little bit.
I agree.
Grounded.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the things I would recommend to them is not take one of the current IPs, because one of the problems with doing that is you have an established thing. Halo is a perfect example of failing to meet commitments because people have an expectation of Halo, and then you wanted to make it live service, and now you're now competing in two different worlds, right? One was like, this is what I expect of Halo, and those people are unhappy, and this is like the Fortnite people, and they're like, you're not giving me content, I don't want to be here. Right, and so it didn't meet anybody's needs. It would have been better if they just stuck to what Halo is and let Halo be that, and create another Sea of Thieves, just something off the wall different, and go make something that people might try out and have a different experience in. So I would recommend don't touch Killzone, don't touch what was the other one? Resistance. Let those be their own thing. Make your own brand new IPs that do this.
Yeah, people are more likely to try it if they don't have any expectations, right?
Exactly. The flooding thing, there is one caveat, is that if you put out 3 at the same time, you're killing all of them, right? Because you can only pay attention
saturation.
They have to give it like 3 or 4 months with nothing else, trying to make it so that it can establish itself.
I almost wonder if they're kind of trying to go by letting the strongest survive or something. I wonder if
that seems like such a good
have them compete against each other.
The Hunger Games of games as a service.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
They're going to call it the Darwin experiment.
Well, there's 2 things they need to tick off.
Can you imagine the studio that gets to exist is the one that's game actually takes off? Everybody else, you're done.
Exactly.
What was that?
Everybody else closed.
There's 2 things
What
they need
else
to
going to
tick
make
off.
though?
Yep.
Real
Guys,
quick.
the point I was going to make, the point I was going to make is the reason for gas games though isn't because like popularity or winning game rewards and stuff. It's for money. They bring in a lot of revenue, don't they? And that's why you want them to hit. So that's why Sony really needs to does need to chase that sort of revenue. Really, it can't skip gas games, otherwise it'll be skipping a massive money making franchise. So that's the only thing I think from that statement he made.
That's exactly why I think Killzone will happen, because it's Sony. They can't ignore their own like big title, even if it's just the name. They'll ride the name right into the dirt. That's why I think it will happen. I don't know if it'll come anytime soon, but they can't help themselves.
Yeah, but the name alone's not going to make it work necessarily. It needs to hit two.
No,
things.
I'm not saying it'll work.
Community.
I'm saying it'll get everyone through the audience, through the door. It's going to get everyone through the door. I think first. Whether it doesn't mean it's going to be good.
Yeah,
it is an old title though. Because a lot of times, a lot of us older players remember it. But that's an older title.
That's true too.
That a lot of young people don't know anything about. So you just
I know.
Get exciting for them. So
how old are we talking here? How old are we talking here? I just need.
We talking all right.
What's the cutoff? What's the cutoff?
38, 37, 38.
Okay, there we go. That sounds about right.
Did you just cut yourself off? Are you 36?
I'm slightly older, but still.
All right.
What were you going to say, Ashtray? What were you going to say? You were going to say something.
Look, I was just going to say it needs community and it needs content. If it doesn't have either of those, then there's a good chance that they'll fail. And this is why Fortnite might not be the best game around, but it has those things. It has the community, has the people that want to play it. And then there has the content, and they have constant content updates, which keep bringing people back. And that's the main key that they have.
It's the simplicity, though, of it, right? They don't make the game overly complicated. You could put it down for a few months, come back, and you're right back into playing Fortnite as the standard gameplay. Like, they've got the gameplay loop down for that.
Just I mean, I know you guys played Halo Infinite multiplayer a lot, but imagine if they had more content, drops, more skins, more levels to play. You guys would probably still be playing it, or there would have been more hype for it. They just missed that mark.
I love playing that game. Like the community game nights was amazing.
Oh man, that was
people are creatures of habit, and that's why an existing IP works. Because to move people away from Fortnite, Apex, COD, even PUBG, DayZ, it's just a very difficult thing to do. Rainbow Six Siege, people are heavily invested in these games.
Yep,
it's true.
And that's difficult.
It's true, and you're going to have to make something that really stands out to pull them away. I think of Call of Duty and Halo, and think about how Call of Duty eventually pulled people from it. And I know it was different situations, but I look at that much in the same way. Yeah. But I would also add too, though, with the Halo situation, just to add, season 4 is coming out in a month. So I think they're going to have a nice rebound. I think also we're going to get something from Certain Affinity, just to throw it out there. Had nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to mention it.
I hope so. That's what I'm thinking too, but everyone disagreed with me. They don't think we're seeing crap from Certain Affinity, but I'm with you, Umbra. I think we might be the only ones thinking.
Yeah, I think we will. I think we'll see it.
Yeah. Just a little teaser.
Only thing I'm going to add to that is, if you drop good content on a regular basis without it being in your face or something that you have to buy, like Fortnite, you will happily throw $40, $60. I've heard a whole bunch of you guys threw $100 one month because they wanted this skin and that skin, and it's not necessary. But at the same time, I have to admit, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I want that girl's skin, or I want this skin. And if you do a good job with that, people will throw money at it. But if you force it, then that's when people start to step back from it and don't have a bad reaction to your game. And then what happens is, once you get a bad reaction, you almost never can recoup from that, because the game always have a bad name, unfortunately.
I never buy
sometimes you can, but yeah, you're right.
Fortnite is
sometimes you can,
stupid, man.
They're on a different level than everybody else.
I haven't gone to the store in 2 weeks because I know they've got Star Wars characters in there for May the 4th, and I know I'm going to spend money. They are brilliant at it. I think they're second to none.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can touch them. All the licensing they have too. You know what I mean? They seem unstoppable.
Now, something
Your
tells
wallet
me that
be
these
with
come
me.
to them. Yeah, I think companies come to them. They go to them like, hey,
Yeah.
can we
probably.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it used to be the other way around, and I absolutely agree with you. I
Right.
think it's completely
Right.
flipped. Now they used to chase
Right.
everyone else for licensing. Now everyone's going the other way because it just makes sense. Because then it puts eyes on their characters and their games
or
later
the
on.
IP,
So
right? Yeah, the
One
movies
I
Right,
or
missed
exactly.
out
whatever.
on
Right.
was
They're
Master
so big
Chief.
at this
I'm not
point,
happy
too.
that I missed the Master Chief.
Yeah, the Master Chief was good, but
It'll be
the
back.
game has become so big.
It'll be
at this
back
point
around,
that
hopefully.
It's like you can't even compete with Fortnite on that type of situation.
No.
It's like you almost
I don't
have to
think you can
just
either.
settle in, and like you were saying,
Well,
like
you-
you've got to make those deals.
You could
Yeah.
if you have a game that doesn't license it. This is why I think doing something like Killzone just kills it. Like you can't take Halo, make it live service, and also bring in cartoony characters, and that's the problem, right? Whereas
Yeah.
Fortnite, you don't.
Yeah.
There's no association to anything. Go ahead and
Yeah.
Right.
bring whatever you want, right? It's
Yep.
better to have those kind of things. See if these
Like an
can
empty
bring in
slate,
Pirates of
yeah.
the Caribbean, because like who cares, right? There's nothing specific about it. It's just whatever, right? So you could do things like that. Fighter games are great for that too, but like one of the things you're saying here is content, right? That's the part that I don't know if Sony realized it or not. I don't know if Microsoft realized it or not. If you're gonna do that, you need a lot of people.
Yep.
Right. And so
Yeah.
for this live service thing to work, each one of these
Yeah.
studios is gonna need a lot of people. Right. And maybe they picked that up when they got Bungie that, yeah, doing this constant content drop, yeah, that requires like the 1,000 people they have. And if you want to have another one do it, like 100 people ain't gonna cut it.
Because you need
So,
teams working
yeah, that's it.
No.
independently on
happen.
content, and then they just kind of deliver it based on their readiness. So yeah, one team's working on this, and when that's ready, that goes while another team's working on that, and that'll launch later. And yeah, you need constant teams working.
But I think that might be why you're seeing these studios being let go or projects stopping. Is like, yeah, this concept is not going to work and it's taking too much. Maybe we consolidate to the 4 or 5 that we think are going to potentially work, put more people on it so that they have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you
that's
go
true.
cheap with the studios like they've been doing, yeah, you're taking a lot. You're taking a real big chance with Fire Sprite and whoever else, and to make a live
Firewalk.
service game for you and hope it's going to be good. Firewalk or Watch or whatever it's called. But if you don't spend money on a good studio, you're taking a chance. It could hit, but you're taking a good chance that it just might not because you're not getting the pedigree you need.
Even with the
Well,
PlayStation name, I think they're going to have an uphill battle, honestly.
Right, I agree.
So
too.
it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out.
I think
Well,
Bungie
Fallout
was the
recovered.
best move for them.
Well, it's going to have to go to PC. That's the only way they're going to be able to push those games.
Oh,
as a
it have to.
service.
Day and
They
date has to go to
can't-
PC.
They
Yeah.
can't
Oh,
not
yeah.
put it on PC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You need to try and get the widest pool of gamers as possible.
The annoying
So,
thing
yeah.
is
If they
some
can
of that
pull it-
fan base is still so anti-games coming to PC, but like if you really want them to succeed, you want it on
Yes.
PC. You want it going out to as many
Yeah.
people. You want this company to be making money so they're still here in the future. And why they find that as a negative just beats me. I don't get it.
Do you guys think the gas game will be the
Console
first day and date across the board for PlayStation on PC?
You know,
Yeah,
Didn't
I
Herman
do
Holt
too.
say that?
Yeah.
Not
I think you
necessarily.
might be right. Yeah. I
What about
think so.
Spider-Man 2?
Herman Holt said that.
Yeah, it would be.
Maybe not
yeah,
the
it
first
definitely
one,
will
but
be.
the second
First
one
day
at
and
least.
date
Yeah.
PC
Mhm.
PlayStation
Will
game.
be the games as a service games. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they
it-
can pull it
it
off,
would
they should
make
also throw it on
sense.
mobile. If it's possible, do it.
Yep.
But you want as
It would make
wide
sense.
a-
You want as
as
much
possible.
saturation as possible.
Spider-Man is a good shot, though.
Well-
I'm sorry, Cypher. I can't cut you off.
No, you're good.
Shifting ideas, guys. Is anyone going to be playing Stray when it comes to Xbox?
On a pod, yeah, I'll play it. I don't
I
care.
definitely will.
It's the only
I
pussy
didn't get
Elite
to
will
play
play
it on
with.
PlayStation. I think it looks like a cute game. I'm not expecting much.
The meow game.
Yeah.
Why not?
You're not expecting much there, Pete?
All right, meow.
No, I'm not. I
Yeah, I
can't
heard that's
believe
it
that
last
game
week.
got nominated for Game of the Year. I think that was, I don't get that. But in saying that, it looks like a really cute, fun, different game.
I'm looking forward.
I think it's enjoyable. If they release it on Xbox at like $20, $30, I would tell you all to go for it. I played it when it was on PlayStation Plus or whatever. It was okay.
Is it coming to Game Pass?
I
I
doubt
don't
it.
think so.
Don't think
Yeah,
so.
I
and
doubt it.
don't think
I doubt
it
it.
will either. Yeah, I think that
I don't
that
think so either.
PlayStation would have made them sign a deal that it's not allowed to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just
It
like
should not
Kino.
have
During
been.
their exclusivity window.
Yep.
Maybe not after.
Yeah. I wonder.
I mean-
I think the Xbox
Oh,
would have
no.
announced it by now. But
Yeah,
I think
so,
I
too.
think it's an
Well,
okay
we don't
game.
even know when it's coming out, right?
I think so. Yeah, that's true. but
September,
I would-
right? Or did I just make that
Oh,
up?
it's just gonna kill Starfield,
September,
guys.
October.
Starfield can't survive an
I don't
X-ray.
know.
We've got receipts
Yeah,
now.
the cat killed it.
Cat killed Starfield.
It came out in July
Oh my God.
19th.
What if it
Came out on
outperformed
July
Starfield on
19th.
Xbox? What if it did? Do
Oh
that
my
and it came
God.
out-
Stop it, madness.
It came out on July 19th, so it's probably that, right? So we might even see it at the game show, right? But and usually they don't actually announce these things until it's a few weeks before it comes out on Game Pass, right? So,
Strayfield.
Yeah, that's true. And they usually wait a little bit longer than a year as well, Huggy. So
Yeah.
it might be just a little bit after that. I think they did that with Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. I think it was 2 weeks after the initial year period.
yeah.
Yeah, but that was
So,
for
yeah.
priority titles now. I don't think they're going
It
to
was almost a month for
Stray.
that one, but
Stray, I
no,
just
I don't
see
know
them.
where. I could have
just
swore I
don't see
heard
them
it was
doing it for
September,
it.
but I don't know where the heck I heard that.
I am looking.
If
Is
they-
Kina
if they did
supposed
it-
to come?
Kina's supposed to come eventually. I would rather them do it for Kina or for Seafood, but clearly it's too late for Seafood. But I mean, they can later roll it into it. But yeah, but those
Kina
I
looked
would rather
amazing.
recommend it.
Yeah,
you're going to be
by
playing.
that studio that was, I think, making movies, and it just
Yeah, that
looks
was their
beautiful.
first game, right?
Aren't they
Yeah,
doing
it looks
another
like
game
a
for
Pixar
PlayStation?
game.
So what, Seafood? Or
No,
I don't
the
know.
guys who did Kina, Bridge of Spirits, whatever. Aren't they doing another game?
No,
for
they
PlayStation?
didn't. No.
Oh, you
It was
said they're
rumors
doing
that they were
it.
going to pick them up. They didn't sign them or acquire them.
I just thought they were going to be doing another game for them. That's all.
They must be
They might
doing
be.
something.
Yeah, we haven't
right?
heard anything about them.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
But Elite,
I was just gonna.
are you going to play Stray?
Probably not. No.
You're going to stray away from
This is-
it?
Puzzle game. I will show.
Oh,
She's
tomatoes.
holding on to that one.
Yeah, you need some tomatoes for that one, Red.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, load her up.
I like
That's not-
tomatoes, so I'm going to be happy with that. I can make bolognese.
You asked me if I want to
come on.
play.
Come on.
She's begging for the tomatoes now. Just give it to her.
Yeah.
And some bread, guys. Give me some bread.
Yeah, I won't be playing Cat's Bum Simulator. No, I won't be playing that.
You won't be
But
playing
on the
it?
same Cat's Bum Simulator, no. But on the just on the vein of that, I was just going back to the slot gas games. I just wanted to mention because we've got two topics here that sort of cover the same thing. One of them was the 1 year later, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt is shutting down. Servers to remain online, but they're shutting down the game. So you can still play the game, but there's going to be no support for it. And on the same sort of vein, we've got also Overwatch 2 cancels promised co-op PvE mode. So they'll be doing the opposite and focusing more on the gas side of it and not going to be bothered with the single player co-op or PvE version of it. So, what's your takes on that? I mean, I can understand why they're going to just not do away with the PvE mode because the Overwatch 1 was so popular just for the sort of the gas side of it. But apparently there was a lot of people saying they wanted to play it specifically for a single player version. So
Yeah, that as someone who's put a ridiculous amount of time into Overwatch, like probably 2,000 hours and up, that pissed a lot of people off, and I don't blame them because I think a lot of people jumped onto it thinking that the PvE was coming and that was promised, and they were making it like it was going to be the next coming, and then to drop the ball like that, I'm actually a little surprised that they're doing that, but money is money, so I think they're like you said, I think they're sticking where the money is. So I think it's just going to be about skins and everything else, like it has been for Overwatch for a long time. But it's just a pity because I love that game.
Yeah, I think that'll be the future for a lot of developers now. I think they're all going to start sort of churning out at least one gas game each, just because they do bring in that steady income, don't they?
Well, we were just talking
running
about content.
The problem
is king,
for
though. And so what would happen is, sorry, Umbra.
No, you're good.
She's not.
What would happen? Yeah, nah. Yeah, never say. No, I am. I don't like being rude.
You just have to say. You just have to say.
But
She's a
like
bitch.
content.
I love the delay. She's a bitch.
The whole thing is like they've divided their team up. One team was working on the PvE side of it, and obviously content is king, and they realize that they need to reprioritize and push that to where they're going to be getting the most money and the most revenue through that space. So obviously they've put that team back onto the PvP side of it.
Yeah, but that's like a 1-2 punch for that team because for Overwatch in general, because everyone doesn't even call it Overwatch 2, they call it Overwatch 1.5. And as someone who's put in a ton of time of that, that is an absolute correct sentiment. That is ridiculous that they are calling that Overwatch 2 because that game is not a freaking part 2. Sorry for anyone who enjoys it. It's ridiculous how little there was. In the second one, so just like a few new maps, PvE one less person,
right? They are still doing some PvE stuff, right?
I don't know if they're killing it altogether.
Clarification. I'm just reading a tweet here. Clarification that I wanted to make is that while we made the decision to cut hero mode plus talents, we have a lot of great PvE content coming this year. Big story missions, new cinematics, co-op events, and single-player hero mastery missions are all on the way.
Oh, so they are still doing it.
Okay, so it sounds like they killed like a PvE mode, but it's like story-based stuff, which is something they're very good at. Like I've always wanted like the Overwatch to be like to go into like Netflix. Like their animation for that is good.
Yes.
It would be awesome to see that. But
the problem for me with gas games is stuff like this. I don't like just playing multiplayer, just only type games. I need something. I need a story. This is why I'm drawn to Halo.
Yeah, substance.
Yeah, I need some substance. So I like Halo, for instance, because I get the story, I get the single player game, and I also get that multiplayer. I'm just gonna say Halo and Xbox spoiled me when it comes to that. So when I go and I see these battle royales and things like that, they just don't appeal to me. So Overwatch, like you pointed out, Retri, they have this foundation, I think, that they can make so much more with it. And if they actually made a single-player campaign, I would be down for that game. I would be
all over that.
Yeah, I would have been more inclined to play Overwatch if they did bring the PvE into it. I think it would have brought a whole new player base into the game. I've tried Overwatch. It doesn't really hit for me. I don't particularly like hero shooters, but the PvE aspect I thought sounded really cool, and I think it's disappointing they didn't go ahead with it.
I mean, they could do what they did with like moving away from PvE stuff, but like you're talking about how talented they are as a studio. Just looking at like Arcane, the League of Legends story, like that would be amazing to have something the equivalent of that for Overwatch and just put that out there.
I agree.
Yeah, like
good shout out on Arcane. Oh my god, that's
such a good
so
show.
That
so
show is
good.
amazing.
We've got it. What is it? Next year it's coming out.
Still my favorite.
Next year, I think. They said
I think so.
They said it'll be a
so.
2-year wait. Yeah.
And the music in that is just wow. It's so good.
I like Dragon's Dogma, the show on Netflix. I like Castlevania. I think a lot of
Castlevania is very
are
good.
really, really good.
Yeah, they're solid.
Yeah, Castlevania is dope. I didn't watch Dragon's Dogma yet.
I love Dragon's Dogma.
I prefer the game.
So anything that comes
good.
that has to do with that is great. Yeah. I'm really hoping we hear something on Dragon's Dogma 2 really, really soon. I think that game might be a surprise showing in one of the upcoming showcases.
Come on,
that'd be
Capcom.
nice.
Give it to us.
We were talking about it earlier. You said they're using the RE engine, right?
Yeah, yep. They're using the Resident Evil engine, so I think the game's going to be even better. The guys that are making it made Devil May Cry 5. That game came out in 2019. It took them 3 years to make it. If they started making it then, there's a big chance that this game's a lot closer than people think. They did do a remastered version that came out 2020, so it depends on whether they started on 2019, 2020, but I can't wait for that game. I think the pawn system in Dragon's Dogma is criminally underrated, and it should be used in more games.
Yeah, it's
our language barriers or something else, because I thought you said the porn system for a second.
PAWN.
I'm like, what's this?
He's like,
I need
how you have pawns
get
and
in on
chess?
this game real quick. All right.
Yeah, you have pawns and chess. Yeah. No. No, the Pornhub game is going to be a PlayStation exclusive, so.
They'll have the marketing rights.
Just for their VR heads.
That's the games as a service, guys. It's one of those games. That's one's going to do really well.
Spread your legs open and come inside.
That's going to be some yummy.
As we said before, shower your dad in VR would be great, wouldn't it?
Oh man!
Suddenly they sell a whole bunch of PSVR 2 headsets.
Once again,
snap.
Let me know.
I think I just threw up a little bit. Oh shit! Oh, well.
Is it white?
shit.
Right,
It's,
Controls.
Please stop.
Oh,
Please.
God.
oh.
There was a line. He's like, I'm gonna cross
Yep.
it.
He did. He did. Well, why not say it on the 100th episode? Why not?
That's right.
Why
You
not?
know,
Yeah.
make it
I
special.
did, Red
Yep.
would have done
Go all out.
it. Should we jump on to the next topic?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't ask.
Yes. Let's see. Right, so PS Plus is losing 16 games in June. This is following on now. We've just got
On top of 30.
on top of 30
Yeah.
in May. Yeah. So I mean, I keep reading a lot of people saying that PS Plus is better than Game Pass. What's happening at PS Plus? I've not got PS Plus. So what's happening there that they keep just removing games? Did they put games on there to remove these games, or is there just?
I think it was about Spider-Man.
Is it?
I think there was
Sorry?
something about Spider-Man getting it off of there because when it comes out this year, that they can get those revenues from the older games all over again, and it'll just sell
Yep.
all over again. That's
Yeah.
my opinion. I think it
really
was just a crappy thing for them. I mean, it's Sony, you know what I mean? They can't help themselves. If they're gonna always do the thing that gives them the most amount of money, you know, even if it completely screws their customers or not. And that's exactly what this is, in my opinion. It's pretty dirty.
But where are the articles
but it's
complaining
something to know why
about
it's ridiculous.
PlayStation losing all these games and such? They get written about. It's a bad thing that Game Pass does. Where's all the articles
Remember
about PlayStation
Quantum
doing
Break
the same
left
thing?
one game.
That is
amazing
back.
point,
That left for
Wanda.
like
That
2
is an
weeks.
amazing point.
The double standards fly hot and
What you
heavy.
got to remember though as well, it's mainly the vocal minority on Twitter that fake outrages about Xbox games, and then they're completely silent about this stuff. That's just the way it goes, and the media pick up on that.
Way
and
to
they just
call
run
out
with
Red Dragon, Ashtray.
Red Dragon.
it. Wed Wagon.
Well, you know, if the shoe fits, I suppose.
Just want to point out it's been up to 817 now, 18 for including a duplicate. I will say that if you look at the games they're removing though, these games I don't think anybody is going to sweat over this. I'm just going to be honest with you.
You're right.
I don't think it's a whole lot of nothing, to
They
be
sweat
honest. I
over
think
Quantum
games
Break.
are going in and out
That's
all
how
the
the
time.
service is meant to work, right?
Yeah. And at least they give you a heads up on what's leaving. I know that's how you pick a lot of your games, Highgate. So if there's something you've missed, you'll pick it up and play it just before it leaves Game Pass.
Yeah, I do that quite a bit. Yep.
Pete, I'll just
Hopefully, I catch it before
That's what-
it even
that's
gets to
what I
that
was
point. But
asking.
unfortunately,
Yeah, but that's what I was asking. So they've taken on 46 games like over the 2 months. But are they replacing those 46 games with 46 games?
no.
Or-
No,
That's a good
not even
point.
close.
That's a really
Not
good point.
Not even close. Yeah.
That's
I
what-
think
that's my-
May between like there was 31 games leaving extra and premium, and then of course they were losing the PlayStation Plus collection,
Yeah.
which was part of Spider-Man and everything. So that's like 50 games right there because it's 19 games that are in that collection. That's 50 in a month. That
When
is
you go to
insane.
search for it, there's just a middle finger comes up.
Right, it just slowly
Yeah.
comes up.
PlayStation Collection, I think, was a big loss. I think that was a really good initiative
Yes.
that they did for the PlayStation 5. I don't mind the PS Plus service thing, but I think that was a really big misstep by Sony.
Oh, getting rid of it? They should have kept it.
They should be congratulating the people that stood by them and bought a PS5.
Right.
Everyone who's still
Exactly.
Maybe haven't-
purchasing
yeah.
PS5s now should be entitled to play those games. Yeah.
That's true.
I
That's true.
just want to remind all of you that when Sony does this, it's a genius move. It's a genius strategy.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
when Xbox does it, it's against the consumers.
But when Xbox does it,
It's a
Xbox is
habit.
going out of
public
business.
service announcement.
Yeah.
Just
want
an
to say
L.
that.
Thanks
It's an automatic L.
monopoly.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. It is dodgy. They can bring those games back probably whenever they want. But we're not going to see the fake outrage from it. No one's really going to kick up a stink. They never do.
The fake outrage
know,
from Quantum
I
Break.
don't care I don't care about what the fanboys say. It's just when the media jumps on it as well.
But they're
They say
fanboys
nothing
too.
about this.
Yeah,
You're
that's
forgetting
true.
they're one and the
I've
same.
said that. I've said the same thing.
Game
Yeah.
wrong.
Pointed that out myself as well.
Yeah. And it's
They
getting
really
ridiculous
are.
now. They're not
So-
journalists now. It's just getting ridiculous how these people are allowed to be journalists.
But
Look at
it's all about
look at how they overrate Zelda. You know what I mean?
hey, don't knock Zelda. Don't knock Zelda.
Oh, Nintendo sniped somebody. Hold on.
Oh shit.
Retri couldn't hear, so he just left. Is coming back.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thought Nintendo got you, Red.
Are you guys excited? Are you guys excited for the Forza Motorsport possibly releasing in October? I kind of thought it was October anyway, but is anyone excited for this? I'm so keen for this game.
Yeah, they never
Absolutely.
actually dropped a date, but it has to drop this year, and
We're gonna see it in the showcase. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, and I reckon that's when they'll announce the actual release date for it as well. So they'll
Through the
probably give us
PlayStation showcase.
Yeah.
no the Xbox One.
I think it's October or November.
Yeah,
And they released them both, so it's possible for both. But I wouldn't
I've
be
heard a lot
surprised
of
if it
them.
actually slipped. Yeah.
I've heard that
I'm
a
still
lot of
getting a little
conjecture
nervous
that
it'd be
it's
March.
actually not going to be releasing this year. I don't
Forza
believe that. I think
Motorsports?
it's yeah. I know
Who said
Monad's heavily invested in the Forza franchise, and he is adamant that it's not going to launch this year. I don't agree with that. I think that it will launch. When does Forza usually launch? They usually launch around
October,
the November.
November.
Yeah,
November,
I think
yep.
we're going to get the same
November,
thing this year.
I think it's gonna release this year. I don't think Hellblade's coming out this year though. I think Hellblade's next year.
No,
Just
February.
looking at the dev
February,
diaries
I
that
think,
they've
yeah.
got and how they showed that when I was looking at the dev diaries for the previous game. It's not at a point where I think we're going to see that this year. I think we're going to see that next year. But I think this game is definitely coming out this year. And congratulations, I think we missed it last week, but to Forza Horizon 5 getting like 30 million players. That's insane.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
So one thing to
Man.
think about though is like there's an extended showcase, right? And we already
Yeah.
know that Starfield has its own showcase.
Mhm.
So beyond Forza, what else are they going to show? So there actually have to be games that are pretty close that they're going to go in depth on, right?
Yep.
So just keep that in mind that you'd probably like see 4 or 5, maybe 6 games.
It
We'll
depends
see
on
Hi-Fi
like,
Rush
more
too,
about-
right? Because that
I think
game
it
came out of
depends.
nowhere and was perfect at launch. So they've got to be ready for the sequel, right? That's not.
I think it depends
Mhm.
because I don't know if they're sticking to that same 18-month situation anymore. They might go back to saying, "Hey, we're going to show you games that's 2 or 3 years out." They could do that. I
Yeah.
actually prefer
But
that.
an
I don't mind
extended
that.
showcase
I
would
do
be
too.
actual
Yeah, I do too.
gameplay, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
nothing
What was
wrong
that?
with showing
Sweet.
games years out as long as they keep showing us something on a yearly or
yeah.
6 monthly basis, just to keep
I
it in the news
I
and keep
agree.
us drip feeding us
But
information.
that would be the main showcase, right? That wouldn't be the extended. So they actually have a separate on like
Well,
2 days
Starfield.
later.
But that's usually more
Oh,
of
they
an
have the
Starfield is
dev
on the
one.
same
They
day.
have the dev one 2 days later. Yeah.
They
where
have a
devs do
separate
bit
one,
of a
exactly.
Deep dive.
They have a separate showcase for going in depth, like they had before with Paris, right? Where they went in depth on games, right? So they have a separate one. So there's going to be something they show us, and it's got to be actual gameplay, right?
Compulsion. I think we're going to see
They
compulsion.
might
For
just show.
which game are
They
you
might
talking
just
about?
show. They might just show gameplay of what they show
I don't
at
know.
the main showcase. I don't know. My thing is though, I don't think it'll. I think they can show us plenty of what's coming soon, plus plenty of what's coming in the future. I don't think it has
In the
to
main
be either
showcase,
or.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
pointing out that the assumption that games might not be coming like this year or maybe early next year. Well, if they're
Mhm.
going to have that extended showcase, right? That extended show later on, that
Yeah.
means they have 4 or 5 games to actually get in depth on, right? And then one of them is not Starfield because they're already doing that on the showcase day.
Who was it who
On
said
the 11th.
So
So-
RDX,
so there's something.
though this week that they reckon who was it I can't remember which panel member it was who said they threw kind of Redfall under the bus and like Starfield is going to be the actual gates opening with the games and that should be the start of Xbox's generation. Someone kind of said that in RDX this week and I can't remember who it was, but I kind of agree with that. I think Starfield's going to be really the tipping point where those floodgates open and everything else is going to just come out after that.
Good or bad, I think that.
I
Could be
get
the case.
nervous. I get nervous that they're putting way too much pressure
Emphasis.
on Starfield
Yeah.
to deliver. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
hopefully
sure it'll be
I think
good.
some of us are doing that though. I think some of that's us too, because we're hyped for Starfield. But at the
Yeah.
same
I'm more
time,
hyped for Mass Effect
yeah,
4
I
than
think
I
it's some
am
of
for
us. The
Starfield.
blame is on us too. Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, I
He's
think we're
much
copying
gonna-
lower.
me.
I'm gonna go higher, than that, man. I'm gonna go 95.
He's
96.
copying me, retro. You heard me when I said it on my show.
I heard. Wait, we have it recorded, and I said a much lower number than probably everyone in this panel is gonna say. So.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and
hey, here's
I'm gonna go ahead
last.
and say
So you all can be
80.
flabbergasted together.
I'm gonna set
I was
an
a
89
little-
on the
I was a
table
li-
and just back away.
I said 82.
We dropping
Oh,
predictions.
okay.
Just
Because-
start, man.
Dude, wow.
Yeah.
No. Let me
that.
clarify.
down.
Let me
I'm gonna write
clarify.
it- I'm gonna write it
That's
down.
not me
Oh.
thinking.
We got receipts.
Hold on. I
That's a
don't think
big
it
fat
should be
no.
an 82. I think it'll land at an 82 because
That's what I'm saying.
I think there's a lot of problems out there, like where the game probably should have been rated higher, right? I think there's plenty of Xbox games that probably should have been in the 90s that weren't. So I think this is going to be one of those situations where the scope of this game is just so huge. You're going to get a ton of people are going to be rushing to try to get the reviews out, and they're not even going to scratch the surface of this game. So you're going to have people complaining about empty planets. You're going to have people complaining about the bugs. Oh, see, it's Bethesda again. And I think it's going to suffer from that. And that doesn't mean it could be the greatest game they've ever made, and it probably will be. But I think media is media, right? I think probably I'll even give credit to IGN, even though I hate them. I wouldn't be surprised if they score this good, and then their regular people who score everything bad for Xbox just does the same as they usually do. You know what I mean? So that's why I say 82. I don't think it's going to deserve that. I don't think it's going to be an 82 game. I think it's going to be a higher game, but I think that's just the way of the industry, I think.
I think part of the problem
so.
is because I do agree with Bushido that we have put some heaviness on the game as far as it needing to do whatever. But I think that a lot of it is their own fault. And I think that Redfall falling and faltering as it did, it just cast a lot of doubt on Xbox.
Made it worse.
itself. It made it worse.
Yep.
So now they kind of have to rebound because of it. Now more is being placed on Starfield because of it too. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be generationally great.
Yeah.
Much like his other past games. He had his A team on here. It's been 25 years in the making. He's feeling rejuvenated. They're trying to make up for Fallout 76. And I see Assassin put 76. How blasphemous. I think it's going to I think it's going to be an 88 to a 92. I think it's a 4-point spread.
Yeah. Oh, Boba Fett go on me. All right. Good.
I think
choice.
if you love Bethesda games, you're gonna love this game.
I think so too.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Like Fallout,
I think that's almost a given.
I think you'll love this. Yeah, I love Fallout. I really, really do love Fallout.
Yeah. I'm all about Skyrim, and this is Skyrim in space, so they've told me. So
You'll go with 82, yeah? 82 rating, yeah?
This is probably going to be one of those.
Machina,
sorry.
What you say, Elite?
He's giving it an 82. What are you giving it? What's right?
Oh yeah, I said 92. Yeah, I'm actually in the mindset. I'm in a mindset with him that it can land anywhere between 88 and 92 because their games generally land at 88. But I just have, for some reason, that this game is going to be a lot different as far as reception because there are a lot of people that love sci-fi, and if they do a good job and give us a good story with it, which you don't really necessarily get with Fallout, you're just glad to just be out there running around shooting stuff. But if you do that, I think this game can land closer to the 90s.
I think you're right there. I
I
feel
hope
like
you're right.
part of that
Who else
is.
give this score? Who else going to give this score?
I reckon it's an 88.
I said 84.
Jedi, it's 84.
I don't like your attitude.
Are you writing it down?
Yeah.
He's getting receipts. He's getting literal receipts right now.
He's getting receipts.
Ye
I
of
said
little faith
88.
would give this game anything below a 88.
I feel like
Yeah,
it's
I
going
agree.
to, you know how we were talking about Zelda? I feel like there is going to be people going in there with that whole Bethesda, love Bethesda games goggles on and such. And I think that's just a reality of the situation. That's
Speaking of which, Red, that's interesting you said that. I think Starfield is going to usurp Zelda's Game of the Year. What do you think about that, Hart? What do you think about that, Hart?
I think that's a tough ass.
Adorable.
That's a tough
It's all
ass.
You mean Jedi Survivor?
Look, for all the reasons,
what's happening,
for
brother?
all the reasons you think that that Starfield won't get rated highly, that's literally my answer to you about Zelda. It's a bunch of bullshit. Zelda is actually a good game. Play the goddamn game. Stop being a fraud.
I am
and then
going
you'll
to play it. Okay.
So it is what it is. Okay. I'm like
what?
done defending Zelda.
You know
it's
what?
a freaking game. Play it. If you don't like it,
You
good,
know what?
Right?
I think ever since Harky started hanging around RDX, he's become way too spicy. I don't like all this.
This is why I didn't
I'm
say a
telling
damn
you.
thing on RDX.
Maybe
If
you
they
just
wanted to
like
pile
spicy
on
food.
Zelda, I'm like, fine, I'll just shut up and like listen because I'm sick of this. Like
No,
honestly,
I
all
think
the frauds
Zelda's a
out
great
there who
game.
don't want to play it, that's your problem. Go
Oh
play
no,
the game.
I'm going to
or
play
don't
it, but
the game.
I'm going to tell you though. I think Starfield is going to pass it up. I think Starfield is going to win Game of the Year.
I
would
stand
by
like
that.
that.
It's got 97 on Metacritic. It's gonna win. Yeah,
but it's by a bunch of frauds though.
I mean,
man.
to be honest, guys, I think we would all like to
year.
see someone like usurp Zelda and just give and this is a new IP, something else coming in and taking over and really upsetting it. But the likelihood of that happening with the Zelda, that like it's just the IP itself, the franchise. It's hard to overcome how much people absolutely love
Overrate that game. I want to point out. I want to point out, by the way,
that Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order is going to get robbed. It's such a great game. Hasn't won.
Jedi Survivor deserves more love.
Well, yes.
I want to point out, by the way, that Bethesda games have beat Zelda before. This won't be new. So
but what was it up against? What Zelda game was it up against?
They beat them twice. I forgot exactly which ones. But
because there are some missteps within the Zelda franchise. I must admit there are some missteps. You can't deny
listen,
that.
I'm not even saying this to doubt the game being good. This is not what I'm saying when I say that. I'm just saying that I think what they're going to offer, and I think people get mistaken by, the meta is this. I don't think that means that's necessarily Game of the Year just because it has a high meta necessarily. I think all the things that come with it and what make it what it is what does that.
If I get anything like the feelings I get for Mass Effect, then it would be Starfield would be my Game of the Year then, because Mass Effect is just something beautiful that franchise.
See, that's why I love Panda. That's exactly why I love Panda. She's 100% right.
Yeah. So just to clarify on the metas, actually the lowest game they have is like an 88, and most of the Bethesda Game Studios games are actually 90s. So
wow,
who's that for Zelda?
Who's that for?
That was pre being owned by Xbox though.
Oh
yes,
yeah, you've got to put the Xbox
tax. Don't do that.
Xbox tax. Yeah, sorry.
And that
at least it's getting a 62 then, right?
Shit.
Yep.
Oh, one of them, by the way, Red was Skyrim. Skyrim beat out Zelda's Skyward Sword. That was one.
I get Skyward Sword. The way that game, the mechanics,
sense.
that 100% makes sense.
It was another one too. I just can't think of it right now. That was one. Yeah.
Twilight Princess or Wind Waker?
So
I gotta.
Wind Waker would be another one if there was an equivalent BGS game at the time. I don't know if there was one though.
The original topic was for Forza Motorsport. So what do you guys think? Metacritic would be
episode 100.
Episode 100.
The other motorsports have done quite well.
Welcome, Colt Eastwood. Welcome.
This is Colt Eastwood.
Colt had been here for the better part of like 5 minutes already, listening to us. What's up, brother?
This is not the XNC podcast.
I'm used to it. I mean, I get into party chats with you guys, and that's all you do is just run your mouths, pretend like you know what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I jump in and Hargeet's defending Zelda, and everyone.
No, I'm just done defending Zelda. But anyway,
yeah. No. There's I don't know. There's too much good stuff right now. And there are people out there that are worried about Xbox is like on this is their last chance before Phil and Satya just call it quits. And Destin was going through all that stuff, which you guys were probably talking about earlier. Poor Destin, And I think there is a little bit of hyperbole in the community, and some of it is kind of for good reason. Like Destin being a little hyperbolic about Starfield being like the one last chance it can be a good thing to say. Like Xbox, you got to watch out. Like you got to deliver to some of these games, because for the better part of the past almost 8 years, Xbox has kind of like been doing good, not doing good, doing okay, not doing great, and their competition has just been consistently having good moments every year. But last year was like the big one, right? And there's a whole discussion about what to expect for Showcase, and people are like, they got to knock out of the park or else. I'm like, well, Xbox doesn't have any other choice at this point. They have to. The Showcase is good, is amazing. They don't have any other choice, and I don't think they're going to close it up if Starfield doesn't get an 11 out of 10 or if it's not Game of the Year. And Starfield might not actually be Game of the Year contender because, crazily enough, I think there are 6 slots or 7 slots they give Game of the Year to that they whittle it down to, and there are 7, almost 8 Game of the Year contenders out this year. Hogwarts, Resident Evil 4, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Help me out, Hargeet.
Diablo 4, I reckon will be.
Diablo's coming. Starfield, yeah.
Jedi
Survivor.
Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor, yes. Yeah, Jedi Survivor will definitely be in Game of the Year talks.
Hi-Fi Rush is another one.
Hi-Fi Rush,
yeah. See, I think Hi-Fi Rush is getting bumped. I think it's getting bumped.
Yeah,
it will, but I love it.
I think it's absolutely
You're missing the absolute banger for Spoken, guys. Come on.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I think Hi-Fi...
Messy,
yeah,
right?
Spider-Man 2 is another one. Spider-Man 2 is definitely going to get a Game of the Year nomination.
It becomes out
look,
this year.
Hi-Fi Rush has the benefit of being an indie game, right? So it's
Final
a smaller
Fantasy.
game.
It does. It's going to win something.
Right.
It's definitely going to win
gonna
something.
Like
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
hey,
it went
Hargeet,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you're right, because they always pick at least 1 or 2 indies
Yep.
amongst the big guys, right? So
Exactly.
Hi-Fi Rush would definitely be in there. I'm not sure if I can think about what another major indie. Sifu, probably. Was that? But that was last year, wasn't it? Last year. Okay, so yeah, Assassin says Dead Space Remake also has every right to be nominated. So there are a good 8 AAA games that deserve to be nominated.
Can you have remakes and remasters? Yeah, can you have remakes and remasters as well?
They have,
thought about that.
Yeah, okay.
Remasters, I would say no. Remakes, yeah.
Remasters,
but
no.
we can say that, but remasters and remakes get they've been nominated before. So
what remaster was nominated before?
Resident Evil 4, both
Resident
Evil,
Evil, yeah.
Wait a minute. What
the
remaster?
industry doesn't care what a remaster is and what a remake is. I don't think.
Yeah, but I can't recall one
do,
remaster though. I can't. Hold on. Can somebody tell me what remaster though? Because I don't remember.
Not remaster. No, I don't remember any remaster.
Remakes I can see.
Yeah,
that's enough of a differentiation right there to recreate something. Especially when you play Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space, I can see that. But like,
like Spider-Man Remaster didn't get nominated. Ghost of Tsushima didn't. Like PlayStation's had a bunch of those this past year or two.
There's also,
but Resident Evil 4 would definitely be considered a nomination.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the last first
FF16 and then the remake 7 Part 2, right? FF7 remake Part 2.
But I think amongst all those games, like Starfield has to fight against. Starfield might have to fight out the bottom half of the nominations. Like there's some shoo-ins like that will definitely be nominated, like Tears of the Kingdom. And then Starfield would kind of amongst that panel would have to fight up against Hogwarts Legacy or what were some other really great games that came out this year? Jedi Survivor, yeah.
Survivor, Hogwarts Legacy, maybe
yeah,
Diablo 4, Starfield. You still got Spider-Man coming out. You still got Breath of the Wild. What do you think about the last case of Benedict Fox getting nominated, Panda? You've played it.
I think that'll get nominated for like an indie style game. Like that one was really good. Like I finally got the last achievement the other day because it was glitched.
Awesome.
I logged on and that just gave me it, and I was like, sweet. But yeah, I think that might have a high chance, especially with the art style for that. I feel like that's a really good game, but it's not going to be in the Game of the Year contender, but it's going to definitely be in the awards.
This year's still not over, too. Yeah, I think I'm too.
I mean, Planet Alana is coming out next week, too, so that's another indie that could be in that category.
This year is just
central.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I got real high hopes for Liza P. Real high hopes for Liza P.
Oh, yeah, Liza P. Same. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
No,
but Cole, I've been playing and enjoying Dead Island 2, by the way, Cole. I've been loving it, man.
It's awesome. It is. I almost want to joke and say it should be nominated for. It's beautiful. It runs great. It's just so fun to play, and it's like a 76 meta. So go figure.
What?
Is that low? Yeah, I think it is.
Too.
Wow.
Everyone I know seems to love that game. I'm a little shocked at how good looking that game is. Like when I saw the trailers, I'm like, this is not going to look good at all. And then I'm seeing people's gameplay and I'm going, this looks infinitely better than any trailer I ever saw them put out for the game. So you guys are kind of like making me, like pushing me to get that game.
Did you like the first one?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Oh, then you have to play it because it's more linear. It just has these smaller open areas. It looks incredible. It's just so enjoyable to play.
I assumed it was going to be bad with all the troubles that it had with the development, and it just took forever. I was like, this is going to be a trash game, and everyone seems to be loving it. I'm surprised it's at a 76 too. That seems
it's
very
at a
low
75
from
Open
everyone.
Critic. I just looked, and it was made by Dam Busters, and they've never made anything amazing. The Homefront: The Revolution was not a great game, and I feel like they knocked it out of the park with Dead Island 2. In every way, other than telling a compelling story that makes you cry at the end, which they don't do.
The story
is a great game.
The way I explained it,
great
it's kind of a free foam kind of flowing kind of game. You just expect it to have fun. That's the way I think it is. It's not really
it's
story
great.
dependent.
Yeah,
but it is it's damn fun.
And you really do. You knock the flesh and you break the bones and you burn and melt and it just what's that?
After
the flesh system, they actually made a whole system to do that, right? To give you
it actually works. Like it actually works really, really well.
Yeah.
Like better than anything I've
This
seen.
game went through the development cycle that it went through. 3 different developers, literal development hell. It has no right being as good as what you guys are talking
Exactly. Exactly.
So speaking of remasters that could actually be nominated, Metroid Prime Remaster also came out. It's a 94 meta.
Damn.
Oh,
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's probably going to get nominated as well.
So the top 2 meta games right now are both Nintendo Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep. They got it locked down. Huh? So Cole, by the way, what do you think that Starfield is going to release meta-wise? Because we've all put in ours.
Oh boy.
Well, you're asking the wrong guy. I mean, I was so far off with Redfall. They want me drawn and quartered.
Well, go low. Go lower than you normally would.
Really,
be safe.
I was really sure that Redfall would be an 82, maybe an 80, or at the very lowest 78. Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, but they misrepresented the game that you played, so that makes sense as to why. Yeah.
And then by the end, I just didn't love the game at all. Unfortunately, I really love that team. Anyway, Starfield, I've been pretty close on my guess. You can tell. I think Starfield has a chance to be up as high as an 88. People that think it's going to be a 94 or compete with some of these other games. Fallout 4, I think, is an 88 overall, and it has some issues that doesn't reach the echelon of Fallout 3, but the gameplay, the gunplay is so much better, and being able to build is so freaking enjoyable. So I think the reviewers are gonna, to make my statement as long as possible, I think the reviewers are just gonna be so enveloped into the world of creating and building their ship and going around to all these different planets and building up their character that they're really going to be enamored of the game. And I think it's gonna score way up in the high 80s. Now, if Starfield comes out and gets like an 85 or an 86, for all of you who want to argue with the PlayStation guys, just kindly remind them that an mid 80 is exactly where PlayStation's games almost always land, except for 2 exceptions. Like Xbox has 2 exceptions, like Ori and Forza Horizon are in the 90s, right? 92s or whatever. So I would expect Starfield to run in the upper echelons of where, probably very close to where Spider-Man 2. I think Spider-Man 2's got some surprises where they'll finally like, okay, we've got the formula. Now we're going to really nail it. So, Spider-Man usually around 86, 87. And I think they're going to be close to a 90 with this one. And I think Starfield is going to be just behind him, which is a really good thing.
I gave him an 88 to a 92. I'm still sticking to that.
Yesterday, and he thinks Spider-Man 2 still could be co-op even after everything they've shown. That has the, if it is true, that has the ability to elevate that game a lot. Yeah, I thought they said that as well, but I still believe that it might be.
I don't think it would, but that would have been smart for them to do.
Yeah,
that would
have
really
been
done.
Then it's just another Spider-Man game. If Carp would make it, I think it would make it next level. I think.
If you didn't start off with it, making it that way, you're not going to be able to pivot and add that in.
I think it's more likely that you can switch to Miles at any time or switch to him for certain missions. Like maybe you can. There's Miles Morales missions or Peter missions where you select which mission you're going to do, and the stories come together fairly predictably, I guess. But there's also the rumor that
Kinda like
there's a
GTA 5.
multiverse, right? Like GTA 5, yeah. But there's also the rumor that they're bringing multiverse to it, and with what Insomniac has done with Ratchet and what they plan on doing with an actual next generation Spider-Man, watch out. I think that's going to be.
When you get some portals and we're going to play the piggy Spider-Man and the Ultimate Universe.
Imagine that. Peter Porker. So good.
Peter Parker, exactly.
Peter Porker. Yeah, I mean that could be huge. And Insomniac doesn't disappoint. Except
I
when
wonder
they
if they'll
want to
do
make
that at
Sunset
the
Overdrive
end.
2.
Like, I wonder if it'll be. I wonder if that multiverse thing will like open up for like the next one, like at that very end of the game. You know what I mean? Or if it'll be a part of it from the get go.
It's gonna be Spider-Man.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because it would be
Yeah.
it would be a good thing to open up for the next one as well.
Yeah, I mean
We'll see.
they could also open up the end of the multiverse to tease what they're going to do with Wolverine and have like some sort of
Right.
spiritual tie-in. And they're, it ends
Exactly.
on a cliffhanger, and it's like basically Wolverine to be continued. Which I mean, at this point, PlayStation can build up the their own Marvel universe on their platform because no one else can have it right now. But
What they're doing, I
Anyway.
think they're aiming for that. They already
Yep.
have him and Wolverine.
Smart.
I think they're gonna have another soon.
I thought they had a
think
third one,
Hulk is rumored, right?
Well,
Because they showed
Umbra,
him
why don't
in
you
the,
ask Xbox to start buying up some
I've
DC?
asked. They don't listen to me, Cole. Cole, they'll listen to you before me.
yeah.
I think you need to make one of your patent, high videos
Well,
and
It's
You
time.
know.
It's time to talk Xbox. It's time to buy up DC.
absolutely.
Or just
Warner
the Marvel
Brother Games.
characters.
Saying it.
Yeah.
Buy Warner Discovery.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
you gotta
Exactly.
get the ABK baloney
Exactly. The whole damn.
I love
thing.
how
I don't
Hargey's
need a
got their
piece of it. The
checkbook.
whole fucking
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
first.
Or just get the darker Marvel characters like Punisher and Daredevil and stuff like that. That'd be great. But
That'd be
But
fantastic.
before we move on to
So
the next
good.
topic, I just want to say, Dead Island, Colt. So why was Dead Island scored down then? 'Cause you said it's a 76%. What scored it down then? Do you know? What was it scored down? on?
I don't know. I have no idea. Like the
Resolution
game
or-
is, it's got a lot of sevens. That's why I don't
right.
know. Like what?
It's running at 60 frames, right?
Dead Island 2 is better than
Yeah.
Dead Island 1 and Riptide by a mile. Like it's so
Yeah,
great. I mean,
that
Hargy
sounds
was in party chat with me, and this is what I said every 5 seconds. Oh my gosh, this game's incredible. Oh my gosh, this game looks amazing. This game is so fun. I can't stop playing it. I
It's
do
a
have a little bit of
What's
worry
user
that the
rating? Because I feel like
user
that's
rating, yeah.
I feel like
High.
that's a more accurate idea of whether or not people are enjoying it.
Yeah,
Because
I
these
think it
reviews.
is.
Well, I mean, it's 58% critics recommend the game, and I love to respect the industry people and reviews from their opinions and what they, because I wouldn't argue if someone said a game sucked or not, because that's how they are and that's what they say. But I wonder if the critics are kind of like, you know what, smacking zombies around is so below me now. It's so B movie. I want a game where you're
so
where you're
2013.
where you're escorting a small child through a dangerous world, and where it has these emotional notes, and you teach them to use a bow, and
And then later becomes a series on HBO. What are you talking about?
yeah, and then later, and then in the sequel you take over as the child, and then in the sequel when you take over the child, that child dies, and everyone gets murdered, and it's really sad and depressing, and then you go and play something fun because you want to be happy again. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, what happened to the days of just games being plain fun? I was speaking to Umber about it. He's loving the game. That's he can't get enough of it. I really want to buy it. It's still $110 in Australia. I think I'm going to wait for a sale.
Yeah.
But the game just looks like a lot of fun to play.
It is, man. I would definitely tell you to wait though, because I don't want you to spend that much. I get when I hear you say the price, I always grit my teeth like
110.
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah.
It's even more in
It's
New
a
Zealand,
6
guys. It's more over here.
It's a 6.7 user score. The user scores aren't great at all.
Yeah, I'm
Damn.
shocked by it.
Wow.
I'm shocked reading that. Honestly,
That's
that game is so fun. if we're talking about fun factor, because fun factor matters a lot to me in gaming.
Yeah,
This game has it
time,
in spades. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
We were talking about this the other week, that there really needs to be a uniformed way for how these companies review games. They should all be using the same format, and then that you can actually trust what they're saying then.
Well, Elite's got a good formula.
Yeah, he does actually. He has a really good formula.
I do actually. Yeah.
Which is surprising because
Yeah.
Elite's a moron.
I think the formula goes back to the game trailer days 15 years ago. And I use this formula in my reviews, although I've only reviewed like 6 games on my channel. But the old formula was you had 10 points for 5 categories. Presentation for graphics, story, replayability, and what was the other one? I don't remember, but I broke down like 4 or 5 things, and I gave 10 points for each, or a range of 10. And then at the end, I add that up and figure out where the score lands, because it's important to us how a game looks and like how the sound is and the visuals. But then it's also really important for story. And then at the end, when I put the score up, like I gave Forza Horizon 5 a 5 out of 10 for story, because it doesn't tell the story. The story's not bad, but there's nothing there, so it gets really docked down low. But the visuals and the gameplay and the replayability are 9 and 10. So the game comes out to be a 9 out of 10 when I score the game. And then, so when you do that with like Red Dead saying, what you have is you get a score, and then if Red Dead's like, I don't really care about graphics, I care about gameplay, and if the game has the score written out for a high score of gameplay, but the story or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You can choose which one makes the sense to you. So if a game gets a 7.5 out of 10, and you're like, I just love the visuals and I love the gameplay, I don't care about the story. If the story's what brought the score down to a 7 something, then you're like, that game is for me. But most reviewers just go, so I played the game of blah 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 blah. 6 out of 10, and you're like, wow, where'd you get that number? You said the game played great. You said it didn't have any bugs. You know,
Yeah.
So
it doesn't add
Why
up.
is this? Why are we not pushing this review system? Why are we not all just using this as a uniformed review system and just following this review system? Because I've done some videos on it, sort of breaking.
Everyone
Everybody
knows
has
who
different
they
tastes.
trust now, Elite. You know, you stay away from cult and you go to credible sources.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
my god!
So I guess you're never being a guest on his show then, Pete? Is that
I
what you
guess
just
you'll
want?
never be on XNC.
Well,
Crash his channel next.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
look, that's what I do too. I go to Cult, I go to Skill Up, I go to ACG, I go to people that I
ACG,
trust.
right? Exactly. Yep.
I will no longer go to IGN or GameSpot
I mean,
or any of these
IGN
other
ruined
sites
themselves with
are
that.
just-
7 is a good game. Crap that went out.
Yeah,
That was so
lame.
No, they ruined it when they were like too much water for Zelda. I think that was the one that was like, okay,
Too much A button.
yeah.
Too much for gears.
I've been saying,
Oh, they did do that for Gears.
Yeah,
You're right.
man.
I've been saying for many years that you can't just use Metacritic. It's pointless. And when you're looking at spending $70 to $110, like in Australia, for a game, you can't just look at a Metacritic score and go, well, I'm out or I'm in. I think it's your own fault if you have buyer's remorse afterward.
Yeah.
And I've always said, use somebody like SkillUp. Like, say if you line up with SkillUp most of the time, continue to use that, but you also have to use the Metacritic score, and then use your really good friend that you play games with a lot or that you talk to. Like, I was talking to somebody today, like Red Wolf or something, and he's like, when I hear you say that, it makes me want to play it because I know we like the same games. And of course, then he's probably looking at Metacritic, and then he's looking at his favorite reviewer, and then you're pretty much set at that point.
Well, I
But
played It Takes Two because of listening to RDX talk about it for like months and months
so
and
good.
months. And so I've played
Awesome
that.
game.
I'm on my
That's a
third
good one.
playthrough, and I love that game so much. And that was just through
Yeah,
listening
I
to
waited
people
till it
I
hit Game
respect,
Pass.
talking about
Yeah.
games that they like. Yeah.
That became
I did
like
that
one of
with-
my most favorite games I've ever played online. Just to play with someone else, it was just all laughs. It was so much fun. I hope we get more games like that. That co-op experience
I
is
was
just
saying something
so good.
Ashtray told
That's
me
what
not to
Earth
play
does, right?
Vampire Survivors. It's trash. And then I played it, and it was great. And he started playing it, and he thought it was great.
He just calls him out.
Would you
I just
trust
didn't want
Ashtray
you.
to tell
I just didn't want you to
Throw him
play it.
under the
Elite.
bus.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all.
would you trust advice
Ash
that
is
we
a man
give
of
you, Elite?
specific
Because we
taste.
trash you a lot, so I wouldn't.
Oh, you do.
Speaking of trash, you guys are,
Oh, wow.
are at the Gamers Initiative podcast 100th episode.
Let's do Mexican wave. Mexican wave.
100. Yeah.
Rubbish there.
There you go. We got a
Celebration.
stack panel too.
Mm,
Thank
Stack
you.
panel.
I'm gonna go on
Great
to the next
stuff.
topic.
yeah.
Are you ready for that? we got 8 more topics to go. So, next topic.
No, we do not.
We've been going since 7:30 this morning.
No.
Ubisoft is expanding Assassin's Creed team to 40% over coming years as it focuses on big brands and long-lasting live games. So they're gonna. This goes back to our gas games. It's going to focus sort of on more live games and stuff like that. So it's expanding itself. What do you guys think of that? I mean, they've had 2 gas games that recently cancelled, didn't they? They had that roller skate one, which I actually enjoyed.
Can I say this real quick?
Didn't they just lay off a bunch of people? Like, not
Yeah, I
that
was
long
just
ago?
about to bring that up. You got that,
Yeah.
and you got games that are still in purgatory, like Beyond Good and Evil 2, Splinter Cell remake. You don't even know what you're doing with these other studios. Skull and freaking Bone. I mean, you got all this other stuff in the background.
Avatar. They got Avatar.
That's because Skull
Yeah,
and Bones is
Avatar,
literally just
question
Skull
mark.
and Bones. That's all it is. There's nothing else to that game.
It's in the name. It's right
Yeah,
there.
It's very bare bones, that game.
That's all it is.
And you gonna worry about gas games, and I'm like, you can't even keep your house in order. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But they have the studios. I mean, they got the employees, but it's like, can you focus on something? Like I said,
This is why when
Beyond
people
Good and Evil
mention,
2, I haven't
right?
seen that in 2 years. 2 years.
When people mention Xbox buying Ubisoft, I just want to choke them. It's like, I'm like, no, stay away from Ubisoft,
No,
please.
they're doing it.
It's 20,000
I love
people.
Ubisoft
And
games.
I forgot about
I
Beyond
don't
Good
know,
and
man.
Evil 2. We saw that game so long ago. I
last
mean,
year.
I was
Yes.
really
We saw it
looking
last
forward
year.
to it too.
Yes.
Yeah, they also had X Defiant. I don't think X Defiant was
X-Defiant.
actually too bad in
Yeah.
all fairness. But wasn't Ubisoft gonna stay away from Assassin's Creed? Weren't they gonna give it more breathing space, let it
That's
Yeah,
what
they said
multiply?
it.
They're
and
They said
bleeding
we're
though.
gonna take
They're
a break.
hurting
Yeah.
money
Happy
wise,
to
so
that.
they're going with a staple IP franchise that they can milk it.
Yeah,
Aren't they
and
working on
that's
the
the
Star Wars
problem,
game
Panda.
too?
If they can milk it to the point where it won't be profitable
Becomes
anymore,
irrelevant
and that's
to
what I
us
worry
gamers at
about.
that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm
but
worried about
they
the Star Wars game.
what was
I'm
it, a
really
year
worried.
ago? They showed that they were going to bring out about 5 different Assassin's Creed games. So they
Yep.
set the precedence of what their focus is going to be. And this is just another step of that, where they're consolidating their team down to focus on these,
I
and
need
they
a new
call it a
IP.
pillar of their franchise. They do need new IPs, but they're scared because obviously they've brought out so many different types of games, and a lot of them haven't really sort of done well enough for them, that they're really focusing on what will make them money, and then hopefully they can get back on their feet, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, they can expand again. But they're clearly in financial trouble, and they're just trying to stay above board.
They bought out Steep, and what was that other game with the all
Oh, the
cycling and
Riders
everything?
Riders Republic.
Riders
Riders
Republic.
Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are cool games, and I played around on them a little bit, but like they're not a game that I'm gonna that's not my style of game, and I don't feel like there was enough for console gamers to jump into those games for a very extended period of time. Like it had more success on PC than it did on console. So I feel like they just need to really reprioritize and look at what the market, like the stakeholder, who they're trying to actually sell these titles to, and then
Right.
kind of action games that are going to deliver the success that they want. But they're really not putting money into those games that we are all going to enjoy, and the ones that they are doing it's just too much, and we're like, we need a palate cleanse, we need something else, and then that game, give us a little bit of a break.
Right.
And they're not doing that, and that's the frustrating about Ubisoft.
Yeah, but it's like any business. If you have money in many different areas, like builders, right? They got it stretched out across a whole lot of different houses they're building, and then they sort of start to run out of money, and they need to try and consolidate to keep it going. It's the same with this. They've got money in all these different franchises and a lot of unannounced games that they've cancelled, and they've gone, you know what, we really can't continue to fund this. We need to stop that. We need to pull back, and we need to just focus on the games that will make us money, get back on our feet, and then hopefully move forward from there. So it's a lot of businesses do this kind of stuff all the time. And yes, we want new IPs and new games from them, but clearly they're not in a position to do so yet. And so that's why they doubled down with the whole Assassin's Creed when they showed, those up to, what was it, like 5 games that they're going to bring out and focus on. And that's also why they're bringing Assassin's Creed Mirage sort of back to its original gameplay style, because that's what a lot of vocal fans want.
Yeah.
And they know that will sort of then help kick off,
placate.
Yeah. So they've got to do it for a reason. And, I don't want to see Ubisoft go away. I want to see them stay. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, man. So I'm all for the Assassin's Creed games. But yeah, in the future, hopefully they bring out some more stuff. But I just understand what they're doing and why they're doing it.
I hope Splinter Cell can turn it around for them. I really think that IP is going to hit big. People have been craving it for a while. I hope that can change their trajectory. But yeah, I agree with everything you said there, Ash. They are in a position of, they're in trouble at the moment. They need their big IPs to hit, so they're leaning on that at the moment.
Yep.
I just want Microsoft to acquire the Splinter Cell license.
Yes.
Facts.
Or at least money had it, right?
Or at least, I was getting
or that.
Game Pass or exclusive or something.
That was such a cool game on the OG Xbox, like playing Splinter Cell. Yeah.
Yep.
I had good
That
memories of
Mass
that.
Effect.
Yep.
Games like that, those are the ones they need to bring into the ecosystem. In some
You know what I
fashion.
think? Do you know what I think they should money hat?
What's that?
Mortal Kombat 1. So, Mortal Kombat 1, you want to see the trailer? What's your thoughts on
Guru,
Mortal Kombat 1, guys?
the way you said it,
Think
I was like,
PlayStation's-
what game?
Yeah.
This man said Mortal Kombat. I'm like, what game is that?
Mortal Kombat.
I need you to enunciate a little bit, brother.
Hey,
you said,
Mr. Prosciutto couldn't
I
even
don't
understand me
believe
saying "It Takes Two" today. So
It takes two.
he said, "What are you saying?" I'm like, "Sorry, it's my accent."
I don't blame him though.
That's
It kind of sounded like one word.
It takes two. Yeah, I had to slow it down.
Mortal Kombat.
no, that's
Mortal Kombat.
Jesus.
Mortal
Blimey.
Kombat. No, man,
Yeah.
that would be dope if they did, but that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I think their biggest audience is on play. They'll have to give them some major bucks for that. I mean, I know we're talking. You were hearing
They
the
might have
rumors
70 billion.
supposedly of GTA 6. Like that'll be something dope if Microsoft got the marketing for it or something like that, though.
Absolutely. And Strauss has been in the news a lot lately over the last couple of
He
years,
sure
talking
has.
more about Xbox these days. So you never know. You never know.
Take Two
See,
being
Hey,
confirmed as being acquired.
They
X-
don't need to make
Right.
or acquire Mortal Kombat. What they need to do is make another Killer Instinct. They have a
I knew you
great
were gonna say
fighting IP out there. Just use it for goodness sakes.
What about Clay Fighters? Bring that back.
Studio.
Play fighters.
It's been a while
Yeah.
since I've played
Sorry,
that.
don't. That's all I gotta
Man.
say.
Battletoads remaster. It's been a while.
Battletoads.
Like, remaster. Yeah, remaster remake. It's been a year. Might remaster it.
But going
was
back to
Battletoads
Ubisoft real
Dragon.
quick, PlayStation Xbox slash Microsoft are in a pretty good position where they could, be buddy with Ubisoft and keep them afloat by money heading their games and feeding them money for their projects and stuff, and building a really good relationship there for a potential acquisition in the future if they have more IPs. But more
I
importantly,
mean,
keep
they
them
have
off
plenty of
PlayStation.
IPs, right? But,
Yeah.
but look,
Yeah,
if
way,
they wanted to do
yeah.
something that would really solidify them, but I don't know if they can, is drop gold and put Ubisoft Plus into Game Pass Ultimate.
Absolutely.
And that just gives them
Yeah.
a huge amount of money that just comes in on a regular basis to Ubisoft.
At least put it
Yeah.
into
That
the
would
Friends and
help them
Family
keep afloat.
pass. I reckon that would be a great place to put it. Friends and Family.
I don't think Friends and Family is going to be different, though, right? That's not what
No,
they're
but I mean,
saying
like
so
it's
No, it's gonna be the
ultimate. But I
same.
mean, like it
Yeah.
would be nice that would be in there because you're already paying
different
extra
instances.
for that. So, you know.
Yeah,
No,
but
that'll be dope. I
Ultimate
thought that
users
was
should
what
get
they
it.
were going to do. I thought they were going to add, Ubisoft Plus right into Game Pass. I
Well,
thought they were going to do that.
Didn't EA
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
drop in, like you had to pay for that separately first, and then it became part of Game
Yes.
Pass after a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
So
it go into Game
look, it could
Pass
go the same
before
way.
PlayStation put it on
It's
their
the lower
services?
tier, but yeah.
Like on their
Yeah.
system? It was in Game Pass before they put it on their system, right? Because they refused to put EA Play on there for a while. I can't remember, but
I can't remember either. Yeah.
I feel like it did, maybe.
It came pretty fast, but it was probably just something that Microsoft was working out, right, to try to get that.
That's
But
why
we'll see,
EA's
right?
their
So
favorite person, right? What was
They're-
their
Yeah,
name?
but
the biggest
Ubisoft
seller.
wants $18 for Ubisoft Play or whatever you call it. $18. You got it more than Game Pass Ultimate. You've got to be kidding me. That
Yeah,
price
it
is
is.
ridiculous.
Mhm.
And they would be better suited to look, go into Game Pass. If you add an extra $5, I might be willing to. If you go day and date, but for the most part, Ubisoft, I can't see them doing it. Ubisoft is one of those, when it's got the cartoon, whenever you mention money, the eyes turn to dollar signs, the tongue turns
Yeah,
to
but
dollar
it's
Scrooge
really
McDuck?
that, right? It's how
Yeah.
much they can get out of the deal, right? So if
Right.
they currently get like a couple of million subscribers to Ubisoft Plus, which has probably gone down since they really haven't had any game for a while, right? So if they get that, that's fine. But let's say there's 15 million or 20 million Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, and they give them a couple of bucks each. They're making much more money, right? So
Right.
that could solidify their cash flow for the year just by taking that deal, right? So it's really a question of whether they want it or not, right?
I mean,
They
Right.
make generally about $1 billion a year in revenue. This could probably cut about a third of that or half of that just by doing this one thing.
yeah.
Why wouldn't they take that? You still got microtransactions. You
Good
still
point.
got PC. You still got PlayStation. You still got
Good
Switch.
point.
They still have games on
Oh,
that. So it's
I'll
really
give
just
you
a
one
money
thing,
thing.
Hargy. I think the
Yep.
problem is most of us have already played most of the Ubisoft games
I've already
because
bought them,
I know
yeah.
most of the guys
That's
we
the problem.
love
Yep.
games.
Yeah.
And so now it's like
And they
if I
drop
get
in
it,
price so
what am I gonna
quickly
play?
too.
Yeah, it's like, what am I gonna play? Like, I still haven't played Watch Dogs
I
Legions,
just
and I
finished
put
that.
that day one.
Man, I
Game
bought
Pass
that
model
way
will
back,
work
and I still
really
haven't
good for
played it either.
Ubisoft because you get the
Yeah,
game for free, but then you have to pay for the DLC. And I mean, that's what Ubisoft
Well,
have
not
been
with
doing at
Ubisoft
the moment.
Plus.
Oh,
With Ubisoft
yeah.
Plus, it's inclusive of DLC.
Why isn't...
But like, that's a point. However, there's a lot of gamers that haven't done that, right?
Yeah.
And then there's also
Casuals.
new games that come, right? You would get them day and date. So
That or
it
the
does have value.
EA
And
Play
ultimately,
model?
do you look at the EA? I was just to say the EA model. Do you see that as a negative, or do you see that as a positive?
Coming out 6 months later, I think those games
Yeah.
that I get to play on Game Pass 6 months later, it actually allows me to cut through some of my other games in my backlog as a result.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but there's
imagine if they
bugs,
split
yeah.
both of them, and I don't know if you know that, but PC Game Pass includes EA, right? It's a $10 version, includes EA. The Xbox console version doesn't. What if they change that to say EA Play, the lower tier is available on both of the $10 tiers. Ultimate gives you the higher tier for both EA and Ubisoft, but it's now $20 a month. That kind of is an interesting model,
worth
right?
it.
And
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah.
hoping it was going to be. If there was a $5 tick up from Game Pass Ultimate, I think a lot of people would have jumped on it.
Absolutely.
But I don't.
yeah,
I think a lot of people would have jumped on it, but I don't know. Like it's hard to say. I don't know if I see it happening. I do agree that Ubisoft definitely needs the money infusion. So for them, it does. I agree with you on that. It feels like a benefit. I'm just not sure it'll stay at the price point that Game Pass is at right now, and I think that's a sweet spot. You start
True.
going any
Yeah, good
higher
point.
than that without offering more things in the service, I think that's a problem.
How
Right.
much is
Right.
Ubisoft Plus again?
$18
I
a
think.
month.
18
Yeah.
bucks.
$18, right?
Yep.
So if you bring out a product, for example, like a t-shirt, right? You're going to sell it for $20 and then you'll discount it later. So they're doing the same thing, right? They're bringing out a product, they're adding it to this. They're going to try and get as much money out of it as possible. And there's going to be a lot of casuals that will probably play that haven't played these games. And then once that sort of dies off, then they'll probably then incorporate it into Game Pass, with Game Pass going up with $5 or whatever bucks a month extra to incorporate it. And that's probably what they're going to do. Why
Well,
not?
I just
actually,
thought
you guys-
I thought. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, why not try and capture as much money as you can at the beginning?
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I was
'Cause we're
convinced
seeing it
Ubisoft
from our point
Classics
of
was
view, right?
coming.
we're seeing it from our point of view that have already played it, the hardcore gamers, but the casuals, a completely different mindset to us, play games at different rates to us. A lot of them we know play FIFA and all that, Madden and all that. So they probably haven't played a lot of these games. So it's not us that this is really focused to. It's the general public.
Well, for those who even pulled the trigger on Game Pass,
you have to advertise it to them. Yeah, because most casuals don't even know this. And the Xbox does a terrible job of advertising. The way Hargy just spat it out just now sounds like Hargy should be running a marketing department, because that's a brilliant idea. But if they would let people know this and know that this is something that you can get with this in Game Pass, instead of just saying Game Pass, these games are in Game Pass. No, listen, tell them what you get with that. Tell them what you get with the $10 one, what you get with the $15 one. There is no one out there telling people the difference between the two. As far as they're concerned, it's just one's $15 and one's $10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yep. No one wants to jump in.
I was going to say,
Well,
it felt like you wanted more from him that he didn't quite give you. That's what it felt like to me.
Before you go, Colt, because I know you said you're about to head out, I just want to say thank you for stopping by, and I really appreciate you come by and celebrating with us for 100 episodes.
Yeah,
that was nice of you, Colt.
Yeah, I want to say good job. I recently got to 100 as well, and I thought, how the heck did we make it this far? And congrats, guys. I mean, it's a lot of podcasts, and every time you hit the green button to go live, I'm sure it's a nail biter, and I feel it too. And I want to congratulate you guys. Consider you all friends. I'm glad we all get to chat on Xbox, and we do like little mini podcasts while we're on Xbox Live. You know, we do we rant about this, we celebrate that, and I appreciate you guys and your podcast and getting everybody together like you do. So congrats, everybody.
Thanks, man. Well, you know, it's definitely Red and myself. We carry Elite a lot.
Yeah, it's mostly Ashtray. Yeah. Hey, before we go, this is totally unrelated, but I was this morning I was driving, listening to music, and an old Genesis song came on from the 80s called Invisible Touch.
Yep.
And I remember Ashtray told me he thought the lyrics were, "She seems to have an invisible passion." Yeah. And we laughed so hard about that, and then you guys invited me onto your shows.
It's the way he says it, man. It's
invisible
really
passion. Yeah, like that. And when I heard it now, I've heard the song a million times growing up, and now when I hear Ashtray trying to sing it with the wrong words. So, congrats to you guys on your podcast, and we'll be talking soon anyway. But thanks for having me stop by.
Is that one? Yeah, yep. That's that
I
one.
love it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
What were you gonna say, Ali?
Same thing, Ash. So you're not the one.
Coach, you're not going to bless them with the vocals before you leave, man? You
I mean, I just kind of did, but you know.
You know what I'm saying? Sing a little something for me.
This is a podcasting mic. It's not a vocal mic, and I haven't put on my warm up. But yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Elite, for those who don't know you, where can they find you?
You can find me dooming and glooming Xbox at all every moment I can at Colt Eastwood on Twitter. And if you want to hear me talking about the demise of Xbox or the death of it, you can check me out on YouTube where, apparently.
Didn't you just recently get hired by Metacritic?
Yeah, no. Really good stuff coming ahead, man. Like, it's just going to be great. It's going to be great. People freak out for no reason, but celebrate it. Like my closing statement is celebrate it all. Ask for things that are kind of missing. Ask for a little bit better, and just don't over exaggerate. People go a little crazy. They're gonna be okay.
And be nice.
And be
nice. And be nice.
All right, guys. I'll catch you later.
Thank you, brother.
See ya.
All right.
And the XNC podcast.
You sound just like him.
Wow, I thought he was still here. Never just said that. That was good. I thought he was still here.
When you were doing it earlier, I'm like, is he in already? I'm like, it sounds just like him. She seems to have an invisible touch, yeah. She reaches in and grabs by the hold of your heart.
I
Take it
didn't
away,
realize we
Hargy.
were starting a Glee podcast.
Take it away,
I'm touching myself.
I was personally hoping for a duet between you and Colt, but you know.
Colt, man, you know what? He tries to save the vocals. It slips out every now and then if he watches XNC, but he he jokes with it. See, I don't joke. You're just gonna hear some raw, beautiful vocals with me. That's just how it works.
Yeah,
Emphasis on the word raw, right, Umbra?
Raw.
Yeah, you know.
Hey-o.
Yeah, you know. You know me well, Red. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm like the negative Umbra. You definitely don't want to hear me sing.
We want to
Reverse
hear,
Umbra, whatever you want to call it.
The reverse bra.
Wow.
That's
Do you
weird.
need ointment for that? Oh man.
Oh man.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. We got a couple more topics. Well, one.
I'm gonna jump onto this topic.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna skip forward 2 topics. Let's go on to the PS because we're on what we're on. Let's go on to the PS showcase. So, what's everyone's opinions on the PlayStation showcase?
You mean the leaks or it actually happening next week? Is it next week?
It's actually happening. Yeah, it's
Yep.
actually
Yep. It is happening.
Sunday. This Sunday. It's actually happening.
Thursday.
Sunday,
Isn't it the 25th?
No, it's Thursday.
24th? 24th?
24th, yeah.
I've got a long
Yeah.
weekend, so I'm okay. I get to rewatch it as much as I
No,
want.
Sunday I think is the Xbox showcase in June.
Yeah, it's for
Yeah,
me
the
it's
Xbox
4
showcase
p.m.
in June.
Eastern on Wednesday.
So
I don't
what's
know
your
what that
guys'
is for you
opinions? Jedi, start with you. He's muted, I know. Well,
Always pick him when he's muted.
Yeah.
well, where have we got him? He's hopeless. He's like, hopeless guest.
No, he's
Pete's
picking
here
up
to
the shows,
support
but he's all on
me
them.
because
I
we love each
am here
other.
to support you guys.
Jedi, what's
I
your
was
opinion?
distracted by Umbra's voice. It was just.
He
it
was like
so
looking for that ointment. Just be
Oh,
honest,
you
Pete.
had
You were
it
looking
whacked.
for the ointment.
He was
Put him to
practicing
sleep.
his invisible touch.
Oh.
Oh well, fair enough, man. Whatever works.
PlayStation showcase, Mr. Peter.
Oh,
what are
look,
you expecting?
I have been talking about this for a while, and I think that they are actually going to drop the hammer down. I really think that they're going to come with something special. Now, how long has it been since PlayStation have gone first? I was trying to think back. The last time I
Can't
can
even remember when.
remember is the last part of the PS3 generation, so we're
Yeah.
around 2013.
Oh,
Yeah, they always go after the
2012?
launch of the PS4, Xbox One. They realized the benefits of going second, and they haven't looked back since. And this is a big deal for them to go first. And I don't think that they would have done that if they didn't have something really special to show. Now, what that is, I really don't know. You know, obviously we're going to get
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. I think, yeah, but like honestly, I really don't know what we're going to get, but I'm expecting
Factions.
big things. I can't wait for the actual show. I want to see what what's her name, Jade Redman is working on with their new studio. I want to see what PlayStation London are working on. We've heard big things about them. I want to see what Bungie are doing. We're probably going to get to see Ghost of Tsushima 2, another fantastic game. So yeah, look, I'm expecting big things. And don't you think it is strange that they're going first?
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
super weird.
It
feels
definitely
wrong.
crossed my mind too. Yep. Like every E3, that's why I was like, "Why Xbox? Why are you always going first? Let them go first." You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Because then you can rebuttal if you're smart enough to have a plan A and a B, whatever they do,
Right.
you could, like say,
Rich,
I don't know,
imagine they would've came back
$100 more.
Imagine if they let them go first with the,
Exactly.
with the man
Or-
playing the flute, and then Microsoft made fun of that after the fact. Oh man.
Right? Exactly.
yeah.
Or like telling people that you can't share your games, and then
I
the
was just
competition
thinking the
comes
share
out.
your games thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And PlayStation
No.
was going to do the same thing, and they were like, no, we're not.
I think
So
Right.
there's also a lot of speculation that the PlayStation 5 Pro will be announced. I hope they stay away from VR
I don't
titles.
think
That's
so.
not really what I want to see.
But they're
yeah,
gonna
look,
be
I am
there,
expecting
aren't
big
they?
things.
They'll
And I
definitely be
want-
there. Yeah.
I want them
Yes,
to go
sir.
hard.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
want them to come at Xbox because the harder they go, then Xbox is going to have to respond. They're going to have to come with something back now. The speculation is they're finally going into phase 2 of the PS5 generation. So strictly PS5 games. They're no longer going to be supporting the PS4. That's what I want. I want to see next gen only games. I'm hoping for big things.
Red, what do you think?
What do I think about the showcase? I'm excited for it in the sense of I feel like PlayStation has been, I guess,
Quiet.
MIA for a lot of this current gen. They were very quiet leading into it. They kind of said they were going to be doing a whole heap of things, and then they never showed up for those showcases that they were apparently going to be doing. And so, I mean, they've been making some noise more recently, but for you trying to really pummel Xbox into the ground as you say you want to, part of that is dominating the headlines, and they haven't been doing that. They've been dominating negativity as far as I'm concerned. And only the real hardcore and just eating it up and going, yes, give us more. The casuals don't know what's going on. But I really want to see what they're going to bring. I just want more excuses to give me an idea that I may purchase a PS5. At the moment, they have not given me any reason to purchase a PS5. Actually, they've given me less reasons by taking away the PS Plus collection. I don't care for Spider-Man. I'm going to be one of those people who just don't care for Spider-Man. I'm sorry. It's just I prefer other comic book characters over Spider-Man. He's too overhyped for me. He's too mainstream for me. He's just too meh.
What other characters
vanilla.
do you
He's
prefer?
too vanilla for me. And so I would rather just I don't know. I saw that leaked list and I was like, oh yeah, okay. There's 24 games there. Not bad. I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, so I did assume that Final Fantasy was going to show up, and I hope that leaked list is probably accurate enough. But I just kind of want that E3 competition vibes where everyone's talking about what PlayStation showed and everyone's talking about what Xbox has shown, and we haven't had that the last few years, and we're not getting E3 in the normal sense that we would. So it's kind of nice that they're going first, because then I feel like we can really see what Xbox brings to the table, and maybe they might pivot on some things. Who knows? I know that's hard to do, but like it would be nice to see PlayStation go first, and then we have an idea of what we thought of that showcase, and then can compare it to whether or not Xbox blew us out of the water. And I feel like that's nicer than Xbox always going first and then PlayStation coming in second. Yeah.
Do you think's going to have the better show, Panda?
Who do I think? My hope is Xbox will, because I feel like there's a lot of potential titles that I love that could show up there. Like I'm really hoping that they show Fable. I'm hoping that show Hellblade 2. I don't think it's releasing this year, but I hope it's like hell it's going to show. I think for me though, as a gamer, I don't really care for PSVR or just VR in general, so I feel like those games aren't really going to hit home for me on what the PlayStation Showcase is going to have. In saying that, though, PlayStation has a tendency to pull things out and just, like, I don't know, kind of... What is it? I'm trying to think of, like, pull the wool over everyone's eyes. I feel like they're really good at doing that. Coming out of nowhere and just going, here, bam, and then everyone's kind of left speechless. So there's always that risk. I would hope Xbox is going to do well, but it's PlayStation. You never know what they're going to bring.
Do you guys see the leaked list?
Yeah, I saw it.
No.
Yeah.
I saw
No,
it.
tell us.
I've
It's a
said
long list.
It is a long list. So there's The Last of Us Factions, Twisted Metal, Pragmata, Resident Evil 4 VR, Snake Eater, Subsequent, Silent Hill 2, Mortal Kombat, Final Fantasy 16 Rebirth, Disney Domination, Astro's Conquest, Half-Life, Alex, DS2, Stellar Blade, Hades 2, Darkest Dungeon 2, Goodbye Volcano High, the Dishwater Collection, Ghost of Tale 2, Lost Soul Aside, Killzone, Ghost of Katamara, Helldivers 2, Katamura, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Darkseid by Santa Monica Studios.
I reckon Darkseid's just probably going to be a title of a
DS2,
yeah,
by the way.
You're not going to see much on that. That's going to be
DS2 is Death Stranding too, for you all, by the way, because some people are. What's DS2?
Square did push back against it, and they said that it is fake news. And Sony are typically excellent at keeping these things in house, much better than Xbox are.
Yeah, that's someone's wish list for sure.
Yeah.
I would say
I can see a lot of this being true, though.
Yeah,
I can see a lot of it being true too.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of this.
Yep.
What's the first party? What's the actual first party? What is actually Sony?
Last of Us Factions, Twisted Metal,
Darkseid,
Spider-Man,
Astros, DS2.
Astro finally getting a full-fledged game, I think, is actually pretty
cool. Killzone and Ghost of Kamakura, which is supposedly the sequel to Ghost of
Part
Tsushima.
2.
And Spider-Man, of course, in Dark.
Yeah, that one sounds a little legit though because of the region.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, and that was.
I mean, it's been years since the Sucker Punch. It's been what? Is that how many years has that been since that game came out? Like 3 years?
3? Yeah, it's about 3 years.
2020.
Yeah, so I mean, we should see something from them. So it makes sense. The timing feels right.
Do you reckon it'll be next year game then? Announcing it this year and launching next year?
Yeah, I don't think Ghost is coming out this year.
They won't put it up against Spider-Man.
For a couple of years, I don't think.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe
At least
holiday
2
next year. Like holiday,
Right,
you got Spider-Man holiday
earlier.
this year and then Ghost next year.
Yeah.
Right, at the earliest, yeah.
If Xbox shows Hellblade, Avowed, and Fable, they win, even if they have all those games.
Show Fable, Avowed, Hellblade 2, Forza Motorsport, Contraband, show Compulsion's game they've been working on.
Yes, Compulsion and
State of Decay 3.
State of Decay 3. They'll get my W right there.
Honestly, this just sounds like
a lot of good games.
If all of those games showed, I'd probably just melt into my chair and be happy.
Yeah, me too. Now, see, I don't believe the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation 1 I couldn't believe because it didn't have God of War Ragnarok remake on it. So since it didn't have that, that's not real. That's not real.
Assassin made a good point. On my show, he pointed out that Jeff Grubb mentioned that Ghost of Tsushima 2, and I believe it was, what was the other one, Assassin? I forgot. It was that and another game he said would not be at the showcase from his understanding.
Wow.
Not Death Stranding. It was
Stray 2.
Well, Death Stranding,
I think it was a third-party game.
Ghost of a Tale.
We're going to hear from them about what they're working on with Xbox.
Darkest Dungeon 2.
Yeah.
Hades 2.
And like Boba pointed out in the chat, where's Wolverine at?
Yeah. That's a 2024 game at the earliest. 2024, 2025.
Yeah, I don't see that game being ready for a minute. I think Panda is 100% right. That's about the same time frame I said. You're not going to see anything from that game until either, if you do see something this year, it's just a trailer or what I call faux gameplay. But you won't really see anything on that game until next year, and a release date will be released in 2025. Maybe early, maybe mid, but I think it'll be 2025.
That team's focused on delivering Spider-Man 2, so...
I reckon 25, 26, but they should still, show a trailer or something.
I don't think they should.
Yeah. I think they will remind you it exists. Like, not that we should forget, but I don't know. Maybe tip your hat. Like, still here, guys. You know what I mean?
Maybe at the end of the Spider-Man 2 gameplay or something.
I want to see Contraband. I want to see Indiana Jones. Yeah. I really want to see.
Oh, that was the other one. Dragon Age Dreadwolf. That was the other one. And Ghost of Tsushima. Jeff Grubb said would not be there allegedly.
I want to see Dragon's Dogma 2. I don't care what showcase it's on.
Give it. Yes, that'll be such a good game.
So sorry, just to reiterate, out of the first party, what we got The Last of Us Factions, Spider-Man.
So it's Last of Us Factions, Twisted Metal.
I think those games would definitely be there.
Yeah,
I'm thinking the Ghost of
Tsushima,
Darkseid.
Like the game. If you look at the list, anything that looks like it's a fanboy wish list, like Killzone, Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
those are the ones I'm sneaky on because, and also too Snake Eater. Like I've heard a Metal Gear remake for like the past 5 years, and not from Sony either. Just fanboys always saying like it's supposed to be announced this year, and it's like never been announced.
I think
Now
where
listen,
there's
the
smoke, there's
game
fire,
finally
though.
come out. The game can finally come out. But anytime you have games like that on the list, I'm real leery.
I hear you on it, but I will say
Twisted
it's
Metal
smoke,
TV.
there's fire, because there are so many people talking about that, mentioning Metal
I think
Gear,
Snake
like,
Eater's
Yeah,
real.
but it was
I
last year.
think it's
well.
real.
Yeah.
It was last year.
I don't know if it'll be
Metal
shown.
TV show. When does the Twisted Metal TV show launch? I think that the game
supposed to
will
be this year.
coincide with that. Yeah, so
Yeah, I think
that's
it'll
why
be
I
this-
think
like
Twisted
this
Metal
winter.
might be there.
Possibly,
Yeah.
but who made Twisted Metal? I thought it was.
I did.
Oh.
I love that
Twisted
game. I
Metal.
cannot
That
wait
was
to play it.
Yeah, how long ago did
you
made
make
it?
David-
What's his name?
David
Jackie
A
made it.
long time ago.
Yeah,
Jackie
yeah.
made it.
Yeah.
I'm sure in a
Long time ago.
podcast recently they asked him if he's making it, and he said no. He said there's no production on it, but he'd be interested in making it if they
Well,
approached
he
him.
wouldn't.
Santa
He
Monica,
wouldn't
sorry.
know.
Santa
Yeah,
Monica,
he wouldn't know.
right?
He doesn't
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
He said on the
Sorry,
podcast
Santa
recently, didn't he?
Yeah,
Well, I
he
mean, he
mentioned
may
it,
not
but he
know,
wouldn't
I
know.
guess, but we know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so but there's more. There's Killzone, Ghost of Kamakura, Spider-Man, Darkseid. Is there another one that's them? So it's 7 so far.
Yeah.
But then 2 of them a bit iffy. Got Killzone and Twisted Metal was a bit.
DS2, which is Death Stranding 2.
But that's
yeah.
not
If that
Sony.
list was true though, they would
Sony
have
owns
a fantastic
Sony owns
show.
that license.
Yep.
Sony.
Yeah, a
Sony
lot
owns
of
it.
If you own the
third-party
license,
stuff on
that's
this
good. You
list.
can give it to them. Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, and
And
Astro would be them. Yeah.
They closed
Yeah,
the
you already
developers, though.
mentioned that one. Astro. Yep.
They've been talking about that for a while, so I think the Astro thing's actually real. I think the full-fledged Astro
and
game is
Silent Hill
definitely
2.
Yeah, I
legit.
think
Who
that's
picked that up
definitely
though?
it.
Because the studio
Oh,
who
Silent
made
Hill 2, I
Astrobot's
believe, will be there.
Playroom.
No,
for
it's
sure.
it's a
Closed.
Clover
it's
team is not
cancelled.
first party, right?
So who's making that game? Because
Bluepoint
that
that they
studio
bought?
closed. Who made Astrobot's Playroom?
Yeah.
Sumo
That's a
Digital.
good point.
Oh, Sumo
Didn't they have
Digital.
something
Says-
to do with it?
Oh, yeah.
It says Team
Hold on.
Asobi allegedly right here.
Oh, so
Yeah, so they took the people that made it from was it
They
Sony
closed the
Japan,
studio
and
Oh,
and then
man.
they created a new studio called Team Asobi,
and gave it
and
to them.
Yeah.
that's who's doing it. Yeah.
Shit, that's no way. Shit.
No, Snake Eater, I believe, will be there.
Say
Silent
that.
Hill 2, they already got that locked down.
Yeah,
If they
where
get
that's
Castle-
a given.
If they get Castlevania, they announced Last of Us Factions coming out this year along with Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
Pragmata, when they first showed that from Capcom way back, I actually thought Sony would lock that down for some strange reason. So it actually appearing on this list
Right.
seems more legit to me than anything else, actually.
well, they locked down
I think they
Stellar
just have
Blade,
to
which was third party.
Advertise it for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think they just
I
have
think
to
where
advertise
there's-
for it because Capcom's not the type. They saw what happened the last time when they did with Street Fighter, and it didn't sell well at all. So I think
Yeah.
that they learned a lesson from that. I don't think
It
they
might
would
just.
allow.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with you. I don't think that's going to go exclusive or anything because that was supposed to be multi-plat. Yeah, wasn't that supposed to be multi-plat to start with?
You can
The
look at
Capcom
thing,
game.
it's not
Prag-
exclusive.
Pragmata.
It's not exclusive. It's
Yeah.
not.
No,
You can- the
I'm
third
saying
column
that as
tells you
far
what
as
So
it
it's
showing
just
it.
it's just being average. Right, it's just being shown.
It's
Yeah, they
marketing,
have the
yeah.
advertising right.
Marketing.
But you know, Sony
Yeah, I
can
marketing
see-
makes
I can
games
see it
seem
being-
like they are exclusive, right? Even when they're
They
not.
sure enough do.
But
They do.
Yes, they
either
do.
way,
They're
we
good
get the
at
game.
They're good at that. I wouldn't put it past Capcom though. It is a new IP, and it being locked
could
to
see a
Sony.
1
probably
year
And it
will
looks
scale
weird
this
too.
deal.
That looks like a Kojima game to me. Like it
It
looks
kinda
like it could be
does. It
cool,
really
but it
does.
looks very, very weird. So which
I mean,
it kind of
yeah.
fits into Sony's playground in that
I-
regard, I think. So
I expect Mortal
Yeah, I'm there
Kombat
for it.
gameplay. Somebody pointed this out on the podcast this last week.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat likely would be shown there. That makes sense since it's coming out,
Yeah.
next
yeah,
week.
and that's
So
not
that-
on this list. So
Buy
that's
this
why
list.
this list seems weird to me because I think Mortal Kombat,
Mortal Kombat
will
is listed.
definitely be shown. Is
It's
it on here?
Uh-huh.
It's on here. Yeah.
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 Oh, okay.
Final
All right.
Fantasy
This is a
16. I think they'll show a bit of it, but
Not
not
16.
much.
It's Final Fantasy.
Oh, it is.
7.
I'm sorry.
It's Final Fantasy VII Part
Rebirth,
2.
which is the part 2.
Yeah,
No, I
Final
know.
Fantasy
I'm,
Yeah.
no, I'm adding separately outside of this list. I'm saying I think they will show Final Fantasy 16 since it's
16.
coming out soon. They'll probably show just a bit because they've shown so much of that already.
They have
And then
to show
Final
one.
Fantasy Rebirth, like they got on this list.
That, didn't they?
I think they will show Rebirth. I think that makes sense for
They
them to
have
show
to
that
though,
as
because
well.
as soon as they show that, that's just going to be like everyone's going to say they win automatically.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Yeah,
really?
I tend to
I'm not a
believe
Final
the
Fantasy
Konami
fan.
rumor. I think they might show something along the lines of Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania. That'll be a massive win for
It
PlayStation
would.
if they
Yeah.
do that.
Be a
It
major
would.
W. People keep, and I had this debate, Pete, with somebody on Twitter. Oh, Microsoft got 23 teams. None of those games that you're talking about are known. We know, everybody knows about Silent Hill 2. Everybody knows about Metal Gear
Right.
Solid. Like everybody knows about Castlevania. Those are zeitgeist,
Right.
like you talked about too, Hargi. Like those are games that's well known in the lexicon of games. Like people have to get out of their way of thinking. Oh well, this defensive
all
thing
of it
they
gets
do.
trumped by Spider-Man because
And Spider-Man 2 as well. Exactly.
Everybody knows.
That's why I want them to get WB Games and lock down that DC license.
Yes, exactly.
Facts.
Batman
Next
is Batman
Hogwarts is Xbox
Yeah.
exclusive.
That's a zeitgeist.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. But Batman,
Wonder
that's a
Woman,
zeitgeist
Xbox
character.
exclusive.
Wonder Woman,
Mhm.
Superman, get those characters.
It's
Absolutely.
Spawn.
Right.
It's Spawn, so I want to say.
We'd have to go through the Redfall moment with Suicide Squad, but
It's true. I mean, I
Right.
can't believe Rocksteady are making that game. It just does not look good. It got pushed back to next year, didn't it?
Yep.
I don't even think that's going to fix it.
I don't think so either.
Redfall 2.0.
That feels like one of
yeah.
the, it feels like a Redfall, like it's bad at the core. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
like the foundation is bad, so good
Well,
luck fixing it.
I pulled that
Right.
trailer apart, like the gameplay trailer apart, to bits when I saw it. I was so bloody disappointed with what they showed. I was like, what the fuck is this? Yep, I was like, not
Yeah,
interested.
Arkham's in my
it
top
really
10
looks like a
games
game
of
they just want
all
to make.
time. And from going from Arkham to that, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I agree. Arkham games are
this
goated,
does
and
look legit. It looks legit, and it's gonna be killer. That's pretty good.
We
Just as
yeah, it looks like it could be. Yeah,
I just want to jump in. Just as Assassin said, so there's no KOTOR, no? Not mention that.
No, because that's
Yeah,
Or
see,
back-
that's
remember
been
they
pushed
just
back.
yeah they just rebooted that.
'Cause
Yeah,
it-
they just
Yeah,
just
exactly.
went through some
That's- you're not
development
gonna see
issues.
nothing
What
for
about
that. Yeah,
Bandit?
he ain't for that for a couple of years.
I blame PlayStation
That's
for that.
too
'cause,
bad,
you know,
man. I was really
Xbox
looking
gets
forward to
blamed for
that.
everything.
I was
Sorry,
too. I
try
really
hard.
was looking forward to it.
Bet Star
It's
Wars
Obama's
released.
fault.
Suicide Squad needs a remake before release. Yes, I agree. Try hard.
There's one thing they haven't mentioned here is PC releases, but maybe they're just looking at games that are coming out. Because I would assume that they were gonna announce some of the PC.
There's your
releases
Killzone
as
right
well.
there, maybe.
I think they do that on
The-
purpose, though.
the-
And then they
If that's
feign like,
true.
oh, it's
If
never
that's
coming to
true.
PC because they want to sell those PlayStation 5s. I feel like that is their way of marketing it
Well,
that
they
way.
still want it. They still want that
No,
marketing
they
with
usually
PC.
do every
because
show
they know-
they talk about PC.
Yeah, but sometimes
Yeah,
they're,
they
they're a bit funny with it.
really
They're
are
not
going
always
in.
solid.
No,
Came
no,
out
not
recently
now.
too, by the way.
I don't think now.
They came out recently, saying they're not going to do day and date for the new releases too.
If
Yeah,
they
but
don't
you know,
do
Jazz
the
games
last
they will.
collections, it will die. It will die.
Yeah.
I
Last
mean,
collections
you
will
look
die
at
on
Destruction
PC.
All Stars. I mean, it wouldn't have
Yeah.
helped going to PC anyway, but yeah, you can't do that with a game like that.
I'll just say, like, I agree with Pete earlier, and I've said it as well. Like, I think PlayStation going first like this to me speaks of confidence. They just don't go 1st like this. So I expect a really great show from them. I'm just hoping Microsoft, they stunt out there
I think
and
they're-
do their thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Kill Destruction All Stars by launch. Give us $70. I think it was burned already from that. But I want to ask you guys about Star Wars Eclipse from Quantic Dream. Do you think that will be shown? And
Wasn't that
by
also
whom?
delayed, Pete? Wasn't that like internally delayed or something like that? They had to work that out.
Yeah, I thought they had major problems with that one, didn't they?
That's what I had heard.
I thought
Yeah,
I thought that got pushed. Yeah, I thought that got in trouble as well.
That's the studio that did Detroit Become Human, right?
It is
Quantic Dreams, right?
Yeah.
Quantic, yeah,
Pass.
which is great game.
It might have been a great game, but how rude they were to Xbox gamers. They were very rude, and I'm like, you have to earn my respect back.
Crazy thing is, Panda, is Quantic Dream actually went to Xbox first, so Heavy Rain, and Xbox didn't want it because they thought it was too adult of a game. So all those games by Quantic Dream could have all been Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, but you don't need to be savage to the community. That is not our fault. Xbox didn't play it, pick it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when financials get involved, people's feelings get hurt,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then all of a sudden you see these occurrences. Like, you figure it's the same type of thing as what you saw with like Atlas, right?
Yeah.
So we saw a lot of stuff with Atlas on 360, and that relationship is obviously decayed, for whatever reason. But as soon as
Now it's coming
finances are
back.
involved, people freak out. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
that's
just
true.
read the article for it, by the way. It said after the well-received announcement, I reported that sources familiar with Quantic Dream's plan had said the title was a minimum of at least 3 to 4 years away. It says despite an astounding trailer, they've had trouble staffing issues are pushing that game far back. Well, they put far away to try to be clever, but yeah.
I mean, that would be a good.
Yeah, the
game
last thing
for,
I heard
Xbox
was
to get the,
2025 for
market
that.
No, that's not
I
too
don't think
far
it'll
off
be that.
then.
I don't think it'll be that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
I don't
far
either.
away.
That was the last thing. Yeah, that's the last thing that I read about it, but I don't think it's 2025. I think that's. I think it's further out.
So I'm gonna bounce onto our last topics now.
Yep.
There are topics all sort of merge into one. So we've got recently we got EU passes the ABK deal, China passes the ABK deal, and and we've got the UK government not the UK MPs UK MPs grill regulator.
Have another drink.
Jump up on your mic a bit more,
over-
Elite.
over
You
the
sound a
block.
bit quiet.
Oh, sorry. UK regulators grill CMA over their decision to block the ABK deal.
How
So
drunk are you
the,
tonight celebrating our 100th
the government-
episode?
We've had a lot of vodka and I've not had so much Coke because we've only got cherry Coke.
Oh, that explains it. Yeah.
Oh, leave my man alone here.
I was just grilling him.
Listen, these are the great topics right here. Everybody wants to talk about the EU and China and the SAMR. We all want to talk about that, don't we?
We're gonna
No.
talk about China.
China.
We're gonna talk about China. Okay.
Go ask China.
You know what this is? You know when you got the end of the disc. You know when you got the end of end of your disco, the end of the club, and the DJ starts playing sort of that music that's really slow and bores
Like
people.
a
Just-
Get you out of there.
rhinestone
Right.
Oh, well, yeah, get you out of there.
Little elevator music and get the hell off the dance
Yeah,
floor.
yeah, get off the dance floor, and you're thinking, what the fuck? And just completely change the tempo and just downplay all the music.
Right.
You're like, oh fuck.
Nothing wrong with Rhinestone Cowboy.
John Lovitz.
That's the only reason I learned that song, by the way, with John Lovitz in that movie.
Yeah, sorry, try hard. You can leave now. We're talking about ABK. Appreciate you sticking around for the rest of the whole show, but I know you're sick of hearing ABK.
I only want to keep it sweet. Let's keep it sweet. Do you think this deal will go through this year?
Yes.
This
Not
year or
this
next?
year,
I think
no.
next year. I think
Yeah.
next year. Yeah, I don't think. I think that it's been pushed back too far. The FTC is still fighting back. They're going to lose though.
And I don't think Microsoft care enough. I think they wanted to get it done before end of financial year, but now that that's not going to happen, I don't think a time frame is really in.
I am wondering
Well, it does
about
require
that
them to
breakup fee.
renegotiate.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think that isn't even a
Um,
factor. The breakup
Yeah,
fee, sorry.
Potentially.
I know they have to pay it though. That's the unfortunate part. And like Hargeet is saying, they're going to have to renegotiate. So I'm just wondering
Right.
how that will factor
Which
into what they want to do.
Yeah, but when you got both parties that want the exact same thing, I think that renegotiation won't be too much of an issue, to be honest with you.
I think
you
they're
know
not
what I
going
mean?
to try and screw each
Mhm.
other over in that respect.
Right, exactly. Like they both want
Well,
the
they'll be
same
like,
thing. I don't think
"We would like an
Activision's
extra
gonna be like,
$4
we want
billion."
we want an extra, we want $6 billion, you bastards. You know what I mean? I just I don't see that happening.
Well, your games aren't
but
going to the
who knows?
UK now, so you get less.
That's-
I mean, look, they're probably going to
That's
try to do
fair.
something funky with the UK to kind of stay status quo. I think they're going to close earlier than that. I think they're going to try to do it before they have to renegotiate.
Is that risk of
I did hear that argument. They might try to close it despite the CMA. That's possible. I guess.
Yeah.
But the CAT in the
I
UK
think
going
they'll
back
find
and possibly pushing this forward so they can go back to make a decision and then get the CMA to make another decision. I think they're going to try and rush that because they were getting grilled by the UK MPs in relation to that. It was actually really just funny watching the EU make a decision and then the CMA come back 5 minutes later and put their 2 cents in. I thought that was so fun. Yeah, the whole honestly,
It's awkward, isn't it?
it was
embarrassing.
great. I just loved it. I was like, "Where's the popcorn?" You couldn't sound like
Yeah.
you're more butthurt if you tried.
Yeah, I mean, you don't put that stuff out there in public, and they literally responded within 2 minutes. That shows you
Yeah,
that they're
that was
scared,
so dumb.
I think. It really,
Yep.
really was. That
Yeah, it was
really
like-
was great to watch. It was as
Yeah.
good a TV as you're ever going to see.
It really was.
I'm so glad like the EU didn't come back, like they didn't clap back because they didn't need to. They were like, well, suckers.
Well, they said everything they needed to when they started. They're like, oh yeah, you know, we actually did it the right way, and yeah, some morons decided to do it the wrong way.
Hey guys,
we can
wanna
do our
say-
math. We don't use Common Core.
I want to give you all your love.
Yeah, you've
It
got to
is
hear.
that time for us to dip away.
Thank you so much, Umbra and Pete. I know you've
No.
got your show to go to.
Of course.
You're very
Thank you all for having me.
Astray.
And yeah, I'm gonna give you all the
Great to
celebration. You know, celebration for 100. Congratulations to you guys. You know, your hard work and your perseverance and all of that good stuff. Keep going, doing your thing. You know, we always got your back.
Yeah,
And,
awesome to
yeah.
have you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
You know, I had to call the Avengers to come through. You know what I mean?
Thanks for making the 100th episode so fun.
Yeah.
Put the Xbox signal up, and you guys came.
Absolutely. So listen, just gonna sign out really quick. You all know where to find me. Twitter, Infinite Umbra Infinite. You'll find me either way. And I'm headed to Xbox Infinite, so you all, after this great show here, can head over there to support us there. And well, we will see you later.
Oh, your boss Brisket is keeping
Yeah, I
tabs
see
on
why
you.
you're late. I see why you're late. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, he just happened to come in the chat. Look at that.
I know.
I just wanted to say
Hey,
thank you
guys,
for
time
letting
to go.
me celebrate your 100th episode with you guys. I know you're going to have a lot more. I've been on this show, I think, more than Umbra. I definitely deserve to be on more than Umbra.
No,
Definitely.
You do, Pete. You and I have each other.
I
back.
challenge that. I challenge that 100%. But yeah.
Yeah, so much fun. Congratulations, guys. Many more to come.
Yeah.
Say hello to
Thanks,
Jen
man.
for us.
I'll stop by when it's your 100th episode if Risket ever lets me on again. I couldn't make it last week. He invited me last week, but I wasn't at home and I had none of my gear, so I will have to show up soon for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I never
You're
get
always
it.
welcome. Whenever you want to be on Panda, we'll always make room.
I'll just replace Jen. I'll come on right now. No, I'm kidding.
Get rid of Umbra.
Oh,
Shit.
I was gonna say, you know what? Let me stop myself. So I will see you all later.
Later.
And thank you all for coming
See
through
you
and
guys
help
later.
support them. See you.
See you
fellas.
guys.
Have a good show.
Later, chat
Yeah.
family.
Thank you. Have a good show, yes.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Later.
And I think we'll round it up here, shall we? Does anyone really want to go more about the ABK deal, or we done it to death?
I feel like...
No, look, the only thing I wanted to say about it is that it doesn't look good for the UK. It's political now. So they're going to try and rush to get sorted out and get it fixed. But at the same time, as you can imagine, it's going to make a lot of other tech giants, other tech companies a little bit cautious now and go, well, do we want to invest here, or do we want to invest in the EU or other places? So I do think that they will get this done before the end of the year, at least in principle, because it needs to happen pretty quick for those reasons. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
the CMA,
I agree.
The CMA got pulled up on how do you think this impacts the perception of the UK being open for business, and they're like, oh, we don't really think it does. It does, whether they think it does or not.
They're like,
Are they
it does.
You should.
They just are trying to. They're trying to.
Arrogant.
They are
backpedal
sticking to their
and-
guns,
yeah,
man.
They are.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are.
Arrogant.
Like hard. It just showed how petty they were with that tweet that came out like 2 seconds later. Be like, well, we still feel like we were right. And we're like, well, no one else does. Literally no one else on the planet does. But okay.
It's almost as Jim wrote it himself, wasn't it? It's almost as Jim just told him what to say. He's like, just
Well, it just
Just hit send, guys. Just hit send. There you go.
just
Yeah.
goes to show
Yeah.
that they were
Tone.
really looking for any excuse to block the deal.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I
Any
agree.
excuse. Not
Yeah.
to work
No,
with
they-
Microsoft on the remedies. Not to go, okay, the remedies you brought weren't good enough for what we want. This is what we really need. Yeah.
Yeah, a moment like that definitely wears the explanation right on the sleeve, as it were. As like as soon as you see that, it's like, oh yes, I see where your actual allegiance lies on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you've gotten your math wrong twice, I got to give up on you. I mean, Jesus, you did it the first time with COD getting it wrong, and now you're doing it again with the 60 to 70% market share that they're saying Xbox has in cloud gaming, which is just ridiculous. It's just not true.
Oh, gaming is still on the ground now. It's not like it's a thriving business. It's still on the ground.
It's a 3%. It's a 3% of the total market. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Well, you have 3%. You have 60 to 70% of the 3%. Yay! Like even if that was true, who cares? It's still not even true. But
I want to know what they came up with. That diagram where they look at the growth of it and say that it's going to be this, because even we don't know.
It seems like they used all of Azure and Game Pass Ultimate subscribers to come up with the ridiculous 60 to 70%. Because once you're hitting around 70%, you're getting on the side in that country of monopoly. So they just use those special numbers, you know what I mean? Just
it's funny to say that. Gee, I wonder who else might have a monopoly then. Who has 70%
exactly?
Bingo.
Exactly. Someone's already got it there.
And so if that's a problem and you have a competitor saying, hey, I'm willing to compete to take that monopoly away, and they're saying, no, you might create something 10 years down the road and it might eat like 2% of this market, and that might be a big deal. Like, really? Versus the half the freaking market that freaking consoles are, and the absolute leader of the whole thing, destroying everybody else, PlayStation, is controlling your market. They increased the price of the console during this freaking thing in your country, and your answer is, no, we don't want to even allow competition. The whole thing's insane. It just makes zero sense. On top of that, the damage is done. The CMA decided they're going to go into this little stupid niche thing. Every one of these tech companies has 20 things going on, and they're going to say, hey, I need to buy something to compete in this market. And they're like, oh, but you did this slide thing over here? Oh my God, you're not allowed to buy them because that could grow into something. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, they just destroyed their reputation, right? The difference with the CMA and everybody else has checks and balances. There's courts that can say, yeah, you're wrong, right? There's no equivalent here. It goes right back to the CMA and you're screwed, right? They need to restructure the whole thing.
I did a video about this. I think this could change the entire structure.
There'll probably be some resignations, as in forced resignations too.
That absolutely could happen. Yeah, that could absolutely happen.
That's probably why they're doing it. That's probably exactly why.
Most of those people are sold at this time. Like, they should have retired a long time ago anyways. The resignations, it wasn't like it was something that was out of play.
Hasn't there already been rumblings about companies now looking at not going into the UK or not investing more in the UK? They're looking.
Well, there's one company that's definitely doing that.
MS is definitely doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not a small thing.
That's not a small thing. Not when they help you with your.
Let's just put it this way: the GDP of the UK is like the value of Microsoft. I just want to point that out. You're screwing with that.
Yeah.
That's why the PM is stepping in. That's why the British finance minister is stepping in. They're like, whoa, you did what? I want to keep using Windows 11. Thank you. It's like, what are you doing?
Well, not just that, right?
I love how Nadella's like,
that's everything.
Get out of there.
What are you going to say, Ashtray?
I was just saying, it's not just that; it's the tech and the security.
Yeah.
Yes,
cybersecurity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The whole security thing—that's a big one. That's a huge one,
and that's going to dry up now. Like, Microsoft's not going to invest in that country.
You all know that the UK Parliament is using Azure. You all know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Satya Nadella's response though. He's like, "Yeah, we'll see."
Just wait and see.
And it's like,
we'll
wait,
see.
what?
With his smirk.
Yeah. It's one of those things you wake up like, wait, what did he just say?
Isn't the UK Prime Minister in finance or something originally? Isn't he super rich from this kind of
where
stuff?
He comes from? I think so.
He'd know a lot about this.
Yeah. I think that's why he's calling it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally, if you listen to his quote too, he's like, one of his quotes was, "We're confident in our case because of the facts are on our side." He's like, we're like us and Microsoft are confident. He's all in on their side. It's amazing to hear the things that he said. We're like, holy crap! Like it is going down. I think a lot of people. I think the reason that so many people are like, it's still going to fail when CMA says no, it means no. Like they're screwed. It's going to go to the cat, get bounced back to CMA, and die over again. I think this is unprecedented, right? I think the government in the UK, there's a possibility of things changing as a whole. You know what I mean? This is going to be one of those use case scenarios that lawyers and M&A, all these people are going to talk about 20 years from now when they say, remember when crap changed in the UK because of XYZ? This is the XYZ, I think. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. It's unprecedented, though.
All right, well. Thank you, everybody, for joining for episode 100. We are going to head out of it. I know it's pretty late for Elite, and he's pretty drunk, so...
You don't know me.
But before we do head out, just go around and let everybody say where we can find you. Silent Cypher, I'll start with you. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much for having me this evening, first off, and congrats on the 100. That's awesome. Super excited to see more people in the community making these podcasts and shows and growing. It's always nice to see an even rise across all boards on this side of things. But as far as where you can find me on social media all over the place as Silent Cypher. Find me on TikTok, Xbox, all over the place, mainly on Twitter nowadays. But yeah, thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Love it. It was a great panel
voice.
today.
Great voice.
Richie, what about yourself?
Yeah, me, you can find me. I'm Game Pass _daily on Twitter and Game Pass Daily on YouTubes. And of course, you can find me at Gamers Council every Sunday. I do a podcast with Web Dave. We'll have Hardgeek will be with us this Sunday as well. And the Xbox Factor podcast Tuesdays with Boom, Umbra, and Danny. And that's pretty much it. But thank you guys. Congrats on 100. That's a huge deal. Like I think most people don't realize after the 7th episode, most people quit. So you guys made 100. That's huge. So congratulations on that. And thanks for having me tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
You,
Mr. Bushido, thank you so much for coming in and harassing us again. Love your work. Where can people find you?
He's muted.
He's muted?
He's got nothing.
He's probably playing a video game.
He's playing Jedi Survivor right now.
Yeah,
I bet you.
Well, Hardgeek then. Hardgeek, thank you so much for joining us. I think this is the first time you've been on the show.
No,
second. Was I not there?
Yeah, I think you were actually not feeling well, but yeah.
Oh, that'll be why. Sorry. First time I get to experience you being on the show with me. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and congrats on the 100 episodes. Yeah, and you can't find me on any social media because I'm not on social media.
I thought you were under Elon Musk.
Yes, at Elon Musk or what is the one? Tesla something. It was the thing that gets
Tesla
hacked.
Talks.
People get, Tesla Talks. Yeah, enjoy that one. Yeah, but I am on Discord. It's H.Chani is my tag there as well. It's 3935 is the number. And then on Xbox, my gamer tag is H.Chani. And then I'll be on Web Dave's podcast on Sunday, and then usually I'm on RDX, right? So I'm a panel member there. So RDX is 8 p.m. Eastern U.S. time on Tuesdays, and then there's Boom's Primetime Gaming podcast on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern time. So I'm there too. And then every now and then you'll find me on Go Live on Game On Daily. And we're creating a new one. Zocker and me and Shady, we're creating a new one. And hopefully this coming Thursday we'll start up the Zealots of Gaming podcast. And that'll be Thursdays at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern time. So
I like that name.
Hopefully we'll start that one
up. With that name, Zealots. As soon as I heard that name, Zealots, I was like, Shady has something to do with this. And sure enough.
Yep.
Prosciutto, you back?
You back?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. Where can people find you?
You can find me on the KY Bobby Show, which is Game Set Live. I love calling it the KY Bobby Show because it's better. It's every Thursday Eastern Standard Time at 9. And you can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, Twitter, everywhere. Mr. Bushido N7, and that's it.
Cheers. Ashtray.
And congratulations again, you guys.
Thank you.
Well deserved. Make it this far. Really good show. I enjoy listening to it well before we even met, and I still am honored to be brought on here. And
Yeah, we're gonna get you back on.
Elite, you've always got my sympathy. They put you to the land, and I don't think it's deserved. I don't think it's deserved.
Thank you. Thank you, Brigitte. See?
He just feels sorry for you, dude.
Yeah,
All right,
to be
you have to say
honest,
that
it's just
publicly so it's on record.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
He said it doesn't mean much.
But
That's what it feels like to be a PlayStation fanboy.
I just want to quickly add, I can't believe we've been doing this for like 100 episodes. Elite,
We have.
insane. Ashtray for this long, insane. To the chat as well, thank you for sticking around, supporting us, and just putting up with our messy, ridiculous episodes. We laugh a lot, we don't take each other seriously, and if you really enjoyed the show, put hashtag delete elite in the chat. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got nothing.
As usual.
Do that, and send your dick pics.
Oh, but
You start hitting back, they'll start leaving you alone more.
it just works. Like, it's just funny. But Ashtray, where can people find you?
Yeah, the usual places. So here every Saturday morning or Friday evening for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere. But yeah, it's AshtreyGaming, TREY, Twitter, YouTube, Xbox, and even PlayStation. I have a PlayStation account as well. So, and Switch, but that's a bunch of numbers and letters. So whatever. But yeah, that's about it. You can find me here every week. Thanks for having me. Been good to have 100 episodes. I've been around for majority of that. I think I started February last year.
Red, what about you?
Oh, you're letting the sass us, eh?
And if it wasn't for me, we'd still just have an image on the screen.
I would have got around to it eventually, but you are correct,
Yeah,
Ashtray.
right.
I would have got
Yeah,
around
right.
to it eventually, one day. Maybe in
Very good.
2025.
And Red, yourself.
Mm.
Have you
Where
made
can we
content
find
yet? Yeah. Where can we find your content?
Only fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on, like, seriously. No,
You do me.
Oh no.
No. You can find me on YouTube, like on here every week for the most part. You can find me on Twitter, Red Dead Panda 1, and then you can find me on Xbox, Red Dead Panda 871 Gaming. Like, I finished a few games in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, and that's about it. And you can find me Sass and Elite any chance I get. Hashtag Sesame Street Elite. But Elite, I'll let you close it out. Yeah, if you can.
All right. We're off. Bye.
Bye.
No, thank you all. We appreciate all the support we get. A fantastic panel, and thank you all for joining us today and spending your time with us today. I really appreciate the support. Thank you. We're all going to have you all back, but we wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the people in the chat. So thank you all guys for joining us again, and we hope to see you all again next Friday for episode 101.
Yeah.
So that comes after 100.
You can count.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should work at the CMA.
Oh yeah, love it.
So thank you all, and goodbye for now.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Later.
This is